What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the True Gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How you doing today, my bro?
Yeah, good. I just immediately made myself super self-conscious with all the extra space, and suddenly I was like, am I supposed to be doing something with all this space? Because normally we're like pre-cramped in and trying to avoid stuff, and now I can stretch out and it feels weird.
We've made it even better because last time we had like the lights here and the AC there.
Yeah. There's even more space. That's what I'm like. I feel like I'm gonna fall in. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna fall into
so
it.
much more. This is so odd, guys. We're still getting used to it. We don't even know where to put our penises. It's just so weird.
It's true. Probably in each other. This is a YouTube show.
This is exactly. This is the good safe for work version.
That's right.
Right here. Bros, thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of the True Gamer Podcast. Things are going very well over here. I'm very much enjoying being in the studio and doing all the good stuff for you. Thank you for being here. How are you doing, bro? You doing anything cool recently? How's your life going?
Yeah. Still not sleeping. Even for me, it's been quite rough. The last maybe week and a half's been really rough.
Have you tried sleeping?
That's similar advice to what I got for Elden, which is just to get good.
Yeah, you should do that. You should do that.
It's been really useful.
I do love it when people it's like the thing we say where people were like, oh man, I just have these stresses, like I can't buy this, my car payments, my car broke down and stuff like that. Have you simply tried acquiring more money?
What you need is to have more money, and just don't be poor.
Don't be poor.
If you can't get more money, just don't be poor. You know? Yeah. What about you? How's things with you?
Things are going okay. The house is starting to slowly get even better. Like there was, in some places there was like boxes and things like that, and I managed to clear a few of those up, put some extra shelves up so we have some more space. In the studio it's working good. I managed to record a video yesterday, a standalone little video. We did one of the clips from the Conbrosations podcast. We've got 2 more of those I'm going to make as well. Things are going quite well. It's surprising, like the energy of the new place has made it, really kickstart, really go good.
We've always had a bunch of ideas for stuff that we wanted to do, whether it was like video ideas or content or like ads, because we did those 2 ads for when we were sponsored that 1 month. And most of the time, impossible. There's just no space to do it. There's just no space. And now there's space, and it feels good. Yeah, it does feel good. Although I am still a little bit self-conscious about having this much space.
It's like when you're like in prison for like 60 years.
Right.
You come out, you're like...
And we're all familiar with this.
All familiar. Everyone can relate. Everyone can relate. Just like Superman, everyone can relate to him. So what do I do? What do I do now? I don't...
Yeah, I don't have to go to places at a certain time. So it's bizarre, but it's been cool. It's gonna be really good. It's gonna be really good.
Little bit of housekeeping just before we get going, even though it's just an announcement to let you guys know to get excited.
By the way, sorry about that. If you see me reaching, it's because the one thing we do need, which we didn't before, side tables.
Yeah, side table for drinks. We need that.
Yeah. So, sorry.
We've got the lube on hand, though. It's like a pump thing, really close.
5-gallon bucket, right?
Exactly. It's one of those things. It's like the things that you always run out of in a house: orange juice,
of course,
bread, anal lube, just too much. You're always running out.
And then someone runs out to get a little bit, but it's water-based. We all know we need silicone. Come on.
It's just not good. Like, granted, you might have some issues where you get it on the sheets, but it's worth it.
This is still the safer work show.
Yeah, why have we gone down this road? So the housekeeping thing that I was going to mention, today we are going to be signing and sending out the God of War covers that we promised you guys many, many months ago. Very sorry and thank you for your patience. That's happening now. I saw them last night after unpacking all the boxes and stuff like that, and I was like, fuck it, these guys have waited long enough. I'm doing it. Cut it all up so it's all beautiful. And I got one in a case and I put it here to show, but it's disappeared.
Yeah, that's gone. Wherever it was.
Here.
What you forget? You're going to forget. You're lucky it's you doing the editing.
Exactly. Wait, is it lucky? I'm an idiot. I'll forget it still.
It's just it'll just be you like this.
And for the audio versions, I'm holding up a case in real life.
Don't tell them. Let them suffer.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Frick those guys.
But yeah, that's happening, so pretty soon you guys will be getting that. Yeah. Another thing as well, the next episode of the True Gamer Podcast will be our predictions episode.
Oh, yeah,
We'll be predicting Summer Game Fest and the Xbox Bethesda Showcase and whatnot.
Yeah.
In preparation for what we think is going to happen, what we would like to see. And,
Games.
games.
I'd like to see
Phil?
games.
We're letting you know in advance.
And
we want to see games.
under 42 months in development.
Yes. And no, please don't do CG trailers again. Please don't do CG trailers again. I beg of you. Show me something. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. So get your predictions ready. I'll ask you guys in the usual way on Discord and Patreon, stuff like that. You guys can submit your predictions. Some bold claims maybe, and we'll see what happens there. Bro,
Yes.
before we get into this though,
Yeah.
we have this just fucking awful, terrible group of people that
It's true.
They just bother us. They're always nagging at us. Guys, make another podcast, make another video, make another gameplay co-op thing. Do
Yeah.
that. Shoot some balls. Shoot
I mean,
them.
you say like group of people. I prefer the term mob.
Yes.
You know,
Those people who support us over at patreon.com/Conbrosations at the $15 level, the Super Bro tier.
that's right.
Those people are Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumso, Sabine from Smallville, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunday, Catspud the Friendly Patron, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger.
Official.
Which, by the way, did you see the She-Hulk trailer? I just noticed today how Hulk's arm has regenerated after the snap thing.
Yeah.
Weird.
Hulk's got like unlimited regeneration though, doesn't he?
That's the thing. I heard. So when I saw this thing, when I saw him get his hand fucked up,
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. That's going to be that forever. And I think the Russo brothers said that if Thanos couldn't regenerate his arm and he's basically indestructible, then neither can the Hulk. I don't know what's true here, and maybe they explained it in She-Hulk, but
Maybe also, frick you, Super Bros. I thought the Hulk's thing was functionally the angrier he gets, he just keeps powering up. So he could, in theory, if he can keep getting angrier, keep getting stronger.
could he get like really angry about his hand? It's like,
Well,
I'm so angry.
if that is the case, and I'm incredibly ignorant, so I'm just going to say it, that is the case, then he can regenerate more than Thanos can, right? Because he's like functionally unlimited power, he just has to access it.
This was my masturbation hand. Oh, I'm so angry.
Right.
Oh, there it's back. I'm cool now. And he turns back into Bruce Banner.
Exactly. So like that Skinny Bane, you know, in that Batman movie where they takes the thing and he just deflates. Right. But the reverse.
Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Filthy Thief Fanatic Joe McCormack, Clark, the 53rd, My Juicy Left Nut, the Super Sexy Producer Sean, two brand new Super Bro patrons, the fakest of Bat fans. He's so fake. He's pretending to be a Batman fan.
It's like a batfish.
That's what he is. He's a Batfish.
That's it. That's his new thing. We got it. It was organic. Get
Organic.
fricked. Get
the
fricked.
Batfish Bat fan. Mikey T, the Gamer Giant. The guy's fucking like 6'6".
That's many sixes.
And then on top of that, that's his penis.
Of course, yeah.
And on top of that,
We were
is his
talking.
height.
That was to the ground. Yeah.
Exactly. And Kevin, the number one simp. Refreshing. Of Xbox. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on, the gaming going.
That's
here
right.
And conversation.
That's right. By the way, I've been loving what you've been doing with the audio.
Just cutting it
Yeah,
out,
just
dead. The funny thing is that I listen to it as well sometimes in the car, just to hear like our conversation whether everything was okay. And it is dead.
Yeah.
Dead air. You're just like, oh my god, did something fuck up? I'm guaranteeing you, many of our bros who are clearly like truck drivers,
That's our number one demographic.
school bus drivers,
Right.
or even driving a bus full of nuns. Those kind of people. That's
Right.
our demographic.
Yeah, it's one of those three job titles, really.
Exactly. Nuns as well. They're really into gaming and they want to know all about it. So listen to the podcast.
Of course.
And they're just like, what's happened? Let me just pull over for a second.
Right.
And they pull over, endangering everyone's
Sister
lives.
Meredith, what happened to the podcast?
Sister, can you guys all pray for me, sisters, please? 'Cause this podcast,
Sisters.
can you pray for us? We need to get this podcast back, otherwise this journey's going to be hell. And they all start letting us.
Oh, the Xbox, glory be to God.
Oh, it's back! Praise Jesus! Yeah, so I know you guys are out there, and I know you're infecting.
That's right.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And they're all laughing because we're laughing at our joke as
Of
well.
course, yeah. Everybody knows jokes are funny. Jokes are funnier when you laugh at the one that you're telling.
Exactly. So a little bit. You're gonna have to work with me today. I had a lot of things going around in the house, so I didn't have the time to write them in my document in an order where I'll be like, guys, on this topic. So I'm gonna freeball it right now.
Okay,
bro. On today's show, we're gonna be discussing how PlayStation is an idiot, how Xbox is an idiot, and how Activision is an idiot. And we're going to start off, but first of all...
Well, just before I'm going to add a topic, because I want to talk about this. It's about Forspoken and how it's an idiot.
Okay, there, everyone's an idiot, guys.
But there's a lot of dumb capital B, dumb
a lot of dumb going around. Okay,
where do you want to start?
I'm going to start with the Xbox as an idiot because they're the biggest idiots out there. What can we do?
Oh, they though. I feel like the PlayStation one's kind of a fat L.
Well, this is the thing. That would have been the first one, genuinely.
Oh, yeah?
But something came along to change it into, it was a simple mistake. So I'm going to leave that till afterwards, okay? So
I was getting ready to fry up some sashimi.
I was getting ready as well.
Wait. Fry up isn't sashimi raw? Never mind. We're just gonna beef them out.
Okay, so first of all, let's start off with this Microsoft story.
Okay.
So it has come out that Microsoft turned down the opportunity to make any licensed Marvel games to quote unquote focus on their own first party games, i.e. Halo, Forza, and Gears of War.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, right? They're bringing out these bangers regularly. They're constantly topping the box office. Numbers was not box office, but you know what I mean. The gamer office.
I want to get the. I'm just gonna get the page up here. So this is information.
I will say it was pretty brutal when we thought that PlayStation had won it or somehow got this stuff under contract, knowing that it was turned down. Though,
yes.
I mean, it is just L after L after L.
I'm going to read directly from Reset Era where this information came out. And it's all information from an insider who knew about all the information going on. And it's sort of like widely discussed now that it's been a long time since happened. This happened in like 2014. So it's been a long time. And it's not exactly a secret. It's not like something they need to protect, right?
In fairness, so 2014 is right around like the height, not quite the peak of Marvel, but like it's very much a well-known thing, and the Spider-Man games at this point have been very popular on three consoles, 2.5 consoles.
They're popular, I would say, yes, to some people, but I don't think they're popular in the sense that Spider-Man is now. And
correct.
That's the key part of this whole thing. Yes. So let me read directly from here. It says, okay, this is from a person called Jae Young, and he says, what we needed, they're talking about shopping around Marvel in this whole after the crappy licensed games that come over there. And he actually calls it crappy licensed games. What he needed was a publishing partner who didn't adopt the crappy licensed game mentality. He needed a company with an eye for long-term investment, one that with a vested interest that would benefit from building a franchise. A partner would need to be need to have a deep pool of talent, commitment to quality, and inexhaustible deep pockets. There were three companies that fit that description in his opinion. Nintendo, which mostly developed games based on their own intellectual properties, and being from a first-party console in the past, he pinged both of the sides, both Xbox and PlayStation, he said. But there was the other two people he could think of.
Yeah, well, there aren't any other names in the space.
People that fit that description, right? I mean, you could go to other publishers, but they're not going to have the deeper pockets like these ones and the cachet. He says, and said, we don't have any big console deals with anyone right now. What would you like to do? And he spoke to Microsoft's strategy department. And they apparently passed on the idea so they could focus on their own IPs. Said, I sat down with two execs from PlayStation third party, Adam Boyes and John Drake. John Drake has now moved over to Disney, but they worked at the time. In August 2014, in a conference in Burbank, I said, we have a dream that is possible, that we could beat Arkham. Arkham was pretty popular back then.
Yeah. And those are some of the best of that kind of game out there. Yeah.
Exactly, superhero games and stuff like that, and have one game at least with multiple games that could drive the adoption of your platform. That's what they said back then. Boys, Drake, Connie, which is the vice president of product development at Sony Interactive Entertainment, and Scott Rowe, which is senior director. Offered a AAA PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man game with the exception of 2003's Activision had released a Spider-Man game per year from 2000 to 2018, so 2008, sorry, sometimes having more, having control of the license for nearly a decade. Activision was so immersed in how well Spider-Man games were currently selling that they no longer imagined how well a Spider-Man game could sell. So they were like, oh, it's selling good now. We don't care about how much better it could be.
No point investing any more into it because this is the metric that it gets. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is the really interesting part, especially when it comes to Activision. So this is all roped into that Microsoft thing about them being dumb. Marvel decided to approach Activision in terminating their contract early so they can go to Sony, right?
Yeah.
They negotiated the request. Ong explained that Spider-Man needed new talent, a bigger budget, and a fresh set of eyes. We finally negotiated the deal for them to walk away. It was mutually beneficial deal. When we shook hands, they asked, so what are you going to do with this IP after you get it back? And they replied saying, I'm going to find a better home for it. And they replied, good luck finding your unicorn.
Okay.
And then we saw what followed in this.
Right.
I love the audacity, the bravado for them, the guys that barely make a blip on any leaderboard, just with the same Call of Duty coming out every year, turn around to go, good luck finding someone better than us.
I would love for him to shoot off an email. By the way, I found that unicorn.
By the way, found the unicorn over here.
Right.
Insomniac riding in.
Right.
There's a unicorn right there. Anyway, so that's the gist of what happened over there. Marvel Games were shopping around their game in 2014. They broke off the deal with Activision. Activision acted like they were the only people that could ever make a Spider-Man game or a game in general. And Microsoft turning down the deal of a lifetime.
Didn't even have the meeting. Yeah.
Just like, nah, we're cool. We've got Halo. We've got Forza. We've got Gears. We don't need no Marvel characters over here.
Yeah. The weird thing is that's 2014, right?
Yeah.
When this happened. The thing is...
Go on.
2014... okay, we're 2 years out from the end of the 360, right? 2013? Yeah.
2013 is when it switched over, yeah.
But even still, the last really good Halo was Reach. I think that's 2011. When did Halo Reach come out? Let's have a look. 2010. So it's 4 years out from that. When was the last Gears? It was Gears 5, right? Gears of War 5 release. Oh no, Gears 4, that was much more recently. Gears 5, it would have been Gears 4 then. Hold on, boys. We'll get there in a minute.
We're working out, boys.
No, I can't find it. It was Gears 3 then, it must have been.
Right.
It had been a minute since any of these games had come out. I always remember Gears being very niche anyway. It was popular, but only for a very small, relative to Halo, group of people. I don't know that Xbox, even in 2014, coming off the back of one of the better consoles, the 360, which trounced the PS3 realistically, until like the very last year. I still don't think that they had enough to be like, nah, we don't want it.
That's the thing. I would love to I'm trying to get into the mindset of them. I can see them going,
I just want to add,
go on.
Halo 3 and Gears 3 both effectively wrapped those franchises as far as I can recall. So it gets just a little bit worse, which is not just that they haven't put anything out in a while and the last good one was a few years ago, but it was also wrapped, it was finished.
Right.
Please continue.
They could have put those down for a little bit and then done something else and then come back to it.
Right.
So that's the thing. It seems like when it came to the beginning of the Xbox One era, which we all remember how disastrous that was, it seems like they not only failed in the console department, they seem to fail in every other department as well.
Yeah.
Like foresight, IP management, acquisition management. It's
game management when they're making games. I mean, it was only one every 7 years, but...
It just seems like everything just went to shit from that moment.
Right.
I have to ask though, I have to wonder, because there's also a rumor, this is a straight rumor, we don't know about this one, where they also turned down the opportunity to have KOTOR, the remake, as a timed exclusive, much like how PlayStation's got a timed exclusive.
Recently,
the recent one, and apparently that's true.
I did hear that.
So apparently they also turned down that opportunity as well. your argument at the beginning, where you said like they came off of the 360, arguably one of the most popular consoles.
Certainly their best console for sure. Yeah.
Exactly, and especially when it came to public perception, it was definitely more popular than the PS3. Even though I prefer the PS3, but whatever, that's just the way it is.
I think, just to touch on preferring the PS3, I think that is rose-tinted glasses.
Maybe.
Personally, because when I think of the PS3, I think The Last of Us.
Yeah.
That didn't come out till the
right
end,
at the end.
the very end.
Yeah.
And in between that, also we had good times on it, like playing Blops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we would have had a better time if we'd been playing on the 360.
Perhaps.
Just like party chat and all sorts of stuff was so much better on the 360.
Yeah. So they came off of the back of a really successful console. So maybe I could get the argument where they were like, you know what? We're pretty good how we are right now. Despite, it's not like you acquiring a Marvel license is going to suddenly go, well, now Halo is worthless.
Yeah.
Or Gears is worthless
And we
now.
don't have the money to, I don't know, hire new people for this massive IP, this huge get of
Right.
these movies that are continually breaking records
Right.
every year.
Even if we was to accept that argument, which is kind of shitty argument anyway, and a company should have better foresight, let's accept that argument. What's your excuse for the KOTOR remake then? The KOTOR remake is right now. It wasn't available on PlayStation. It was only available on PC and Xbox. It has your home. It's widely regarded as, I haven't played it, but it's widely regarded as one of the best Star Wars RPGs out there.
Yep.
And you said no?
It's weird, isn't it?
That's a weird one to just turn away. And it drives the question. So
Also,
first of all.
it's not like they didn't know Star Wars games don't sell. Like anything Lego and Star Wars sells. Jedi Fallen Order had just come out, well, within like a year and a half or something of that offer. So they knew it did well.
Yeah.
So it's so weird. Also, I was just quickly Googling what I considered to be like the first generation MCU movies. So like Thor 1, Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1 came out in 2008. And Thor came out in 2010, and both of those 4x their budget.
There you go.
At the box office.
Should have been an indicator that this is something you should pay attention to.
Right, and that was 4 years before this deal came to them. So what the frick? What the frick? I don't know.
And Marvel probably said as well, could have said to them if they bothered to listen. They'd be like, we've got a whole plan for a whole cinematic universe.
Right.
We're going to be making multiple of these.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting to like 2 movies a year. It's going to culminate to this big thing. Do you want in on this?
Right.
But they didn't even bother to listen to them. They were just like, all right, see you later. Goodbye. We've got Halo, guys. We've got Halo.
Yeah, I'm just so by 20. Oh no, that's not correct. I was just checking how many films of the MCU were out in 2014. This is not a very good breakdown of it. There was a few. I can't find it.
There was a few.
But my point is, I was just trying to build more on that argument of like, there's probably 2 Thor movies, 2 Iron Man movies. Avengers 1. When did Avengers?
Was that 2013? I think
I want to see it. When did Avengers? What was it? What's the first one called? Just Avengers.
Avengers Assemble or Avengers?
Let's find out. 2012.
2012. Oh my god, that should have been an indicator right there.
Oh, and that budget of 220 million and box office of 1.5 billion.
That should have been an indicator right there.
So, I think that argument is very viable, that they could say, we've got a bunch of these movies, they individually do well. These Avengers movies, this one has slapped. Just absolutely demolished,
That's so terrible. And think about it as well, because like, this is the one downside about the gaming industry is that it does move kind of slowly.
Yeah.
You have to put the investment, the idea in now, and then in 5 years' time, that's when you get the actual product coming out. So had they gone in 2014 and took the Marvel license for whatever character they chose, whatever they did, it's possible, it's not guaranteed, it's possible that they could have had a banger Marvel game come out like last year, the year before, and then fill this massive void that they have right now, and maybe change a bit of the narrative that Xbox doesn't have any games, and when they do bring out games, it's kind of meh.
On the other hand, It could have been like Black Widow, the game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And based on the decision making,
Yes.
that seems to be a pattern here. And based on the quality of the games in the last, let's say, 10 years, there seems to be a pattern here. Kind of glad they didn't get Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean?
So that's the thing as well. Like somebody said, like, so let's bring it over to people who wrote in on our Discord server. I'm gonna have to find the comment on the fly right here. This may be a win or
I just want to read the first sentence of Diogo's comment here. Xbox gave up Marvel deals.
All I can do is laugh. It makes the Xbox look more idiotic because they're supporting their corporate overlords when then they themselves gave up a sweet deal. And that's exactly what it is. How many times have I trolled people with like Starfield, like going,
Yeah.
oh, bring it to PlayStation, and then they totally believe it. And then we've had the argument where people say, give us Spider-Man then. It's like, your own company your guys didn't want
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They could have
Yeah.
done something to work it out. Spider-Man isn't exclusive to PlayStation because PlayStation owns Spider-Man. They own the movie rights. They don't own the game rights.
Oh yeah, that's
They-
a huge distinction.
They
by
totally
the way.
could have
Yeah.
had it. They could have. Oh, it's just
I love the
lack of foresight.
I do love the idea. This isn't because I don't like Xbox. It's because I hate suits.
Yeah.
But I love the idea that Spider-Man doesn't come to Xbox, not because I don't want Xbox to play it, but because some exec said the wrong thing to somebody, and they were like, "No, you don't. You don't want this game, though. You literally, it's in writing where you rejected that you don't want it." So
You know when
sorry.
you signed up for Xbox Live, it was in the terms and conditions. You don't want a Spider-Man game.
Yeah,
or
like
Marvel
sorry,
game.
you can't have this. The most completed game of all time on PlayStation. It is the most completed, isn't it?
I'm
It's
not
that
sure.
or Miles
It's
Morales.
that popular.
It's in the top 5.
Yeah.
One of the top 5 most completed, top 5 most platinumed. I remember we pulled this list up, like, and I just love the idea of one guy being like, "You're a suit, and you said this. That was in 2014. Yeah, sucks to be you." You know.
It's so bad. And this leads me to my question that I want to ask. This poor decision,
Yeah.
the poor decision of the KOTOR thing,
Yeah.
the poor decisions of
Game Pass.
Game Pass, that is one of them in my opinion, but the poor decisions of also how all the studios are being run by giving them so much freedom that they can do whatever they fancy.
Yeah. So much freedom that they never have like a focus. Yeah.
Right? So much freedom that there's projects that they just allow to just continue on going until they get to the point where they cancel them, wasting a ton of money and just wasting a ton of talent as well in that time.
Bloated budgets.
I have to ask the question, and I don't like asking this question, but I have to ask it. Is Microsoft's management incompetent? Do they have any ability to do what they're meant to do? Manage. Because your job is to have the foresight to see projects like this and go, this is going to be great in X amount of years. This could potentially do us really good in this number of years. This could potentially do good for the industry. This could potentially do for our customers. This could potentially do good for our shareholders, etc. But no,
Yeah.
they've got this one thing that they're clinging to, Game Pass, which, while good for the customers in the short term,
Yeah.
gonna have these detrimental effects on games in the long run and the industry overall. There was a VP of Xbox. He left in 2004,
Yeah.
but he's still, obviously they hired him for a reason. And obviously he knows his business because he's in that
Of course,
position.
yeah.
He is very scared, he said, on a podcast. He said he's very scared of Game Pass because of what Spotify did to the music industry, how it halved the income of the music industry, and
Yeah.
they had to all move and adapt or die.
Yeah.
And Game Pass has the potential to do the same for the gaming industry. And who knows if the gaming industry will survive if you just half its income like that. I feel, and let's even take out the Game Pass part of it. Let's just talk about delivering games to your customers. You've done 2 last year, and they were all in December and November.
Yes.
This year,
The pacing's
PlayStation's
awful.
coming out with a game after game after game. Nintendo's coming out with game after game after game. Third-party publishers coming out with game after game. Indie developers coming out with games. You, with the wealth of an entire country,
Yeah. A
Can't
GDP, yeah,
do
for
it.
sure, yeah.
So is it a management problem? Are the managers that run everything at Microsoft incompetent? What do you think?
At Microsoft, no. I think Microsoft's doing really well. In the Xbox division, for legal reasons, this is a joke. Obviously.
We're not happy saying this, by the way. We're not happy.
It must be, and I don't know because I haven't tracked their hiring, but these must be some of the most secure jobs out there, because otherwise someone would have got the message that you just can't keep saying no to objectively viable opportunities. Yeah. And I'm not talking about like God of War as an example, right? You pitch the concept, you can look, somebody could look at that and go, we've already made 3, trilogy seems to do really well, 4th one's always not so much. I mean, but it can be done. Okay, you want to take it in a completely different direction. I don't know. I'm not sure, right? But with this, there's a body of experience. Previous Spider-Man games that sold constantly and did a known metric. Marvel movies that constantly building and doing better. Like, it's fairly obvious which way the wind's blowing. Horizon, for example, you pitch Horizon and you go, okay, it's post-apocalyptic. The Last of Us did well, but it's not zombies, it's robots. I don't know if people are going to understand that. And so, okay, so this person's like, I'm not really sure. Cool, I could see Microsoft turning down Horizon and going, man, that was a big loss, but how could you have known? Spider-Man, though, that's ridiculous. Marvel, that seems ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, there are L's there, like Marvel's Avengers, flopped. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, big win.
Yeah.
So, yes, known IPs can still fail. Like, I'm not saying they can't, but
I want to know what to be fair, I know the answer is a little different to what I'm trying to say here, but
okay.
like, if an opportunity arises in life, in any situation, wherever you are, you assess that situation, you go yes or no depending on it, right?
Yeah.
What bigger opportunity is a superhero with many, many years of like loved fandom, people behind it, and currently in an upward trajectory in movies, right? What other opportunity could come along that would sway you? Because the only other opportunities that would come along, if you were to be open to acquiring a license, something like that, are going to be like brand new IPs with no cachet, no proven track record, no nothing going with it, no synergy with movies or anything like that. What would need to come along to tell you that this is a good idea?
I also, weirdly, I'm going to go against my own thing, us building arguments for how you could see the wind blowing in the direction of like Marvel, right?
Yeah.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Although sort of like a fan favorite for fans, not particularly successful at the box office.
Whoa, Dark Phoenix, hold on a second.
I retract my... But like, if someone came to Xbox and pitched on the Wolverine game, you take that every day. Wolverine sells. You just know this. Even though, in spite of my previous argument for Marvel and for Spider-Man, the X-Men movies didn't do particularly well. Yeah. They were not particularly good. But everybody loves Wolverine. Yeah. It's something you can't get away from.
He's got a bit of the Batman effect where like...
absolutely.
You say Batman, it's like, yes, I'm listening.
Right.
Wolverine, and also, yes, I'm listening.
And also a no-kill rule.
Exactly. Both of them no-kill rules. They do. They're actually foam blades that he pushes into.
That's right. He like, shink, let me just put these shields on. I wouldn't want to hurt someone. You can poke an eye out with these things.
Should I put a rubber dot on the end of that? They're really pointy at that end.
I would love to see some fake behind the scenes of like, while they're pretending to do the fight, where he's got like rubber ball, tennis balls on the end, so no one gets accidentally stabbed when they're not supposed to. Anyway, besides the point. So even in spite of my argument about seeing success building, you would know to take the X-Men deal, right? Not the X-Men, Wolverine.
Yeah.
They were never offered it, but this is just an example, right? Where an IP that's sort of fallen out of favor. When was the last X-Men movie? Ages ago. Logan is 2016, 2018?
It's a while ago, yeah.
Yeah, let me just Google it just to make my point. Logan, 2017. So that's 5 years ago-ish. And still, we all know it's a huge get. Could it fail? I mean, maybe, but it is Sucker Punch making this game.
Exactly. Sucker Punch.
People are going to believe that I actually don't know the difference. Like, it's going to work.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be bad. Let's say that. It might not be great, but it's probably not going to be bad. How I don't understand how anyone turns down Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing your the start of the second generation on from Spider-Man on the PS2, which is one of the most beloved games of all time.
Yeah.
You know it can be done. It blows my mind.
This, like you said, going back to that bit where you said this must be some of the most secure jobs in the world, because all you need to do is, like, this happens in business all the time, where someone, your boss comes up to you, it's like, how did this person get away with this? How did they steal this from under our nose? How did they do this?
Right.
And it's even worse because we know how, because we said no, because we turned them away.
Right.
How did you not have the foresight? I keep thinking of the Dark Knight Rises, you know, where they're trying to overthrow Wayne Industries, and he's like, how did she get under our noses? Is she sleeping with him? Is she doing that kind of thing? It's like, that's the anger that in normal businesses you have this, but for some reason when it comes to the Xbox management, it's just like, don't worry about it. Do what you like.
No, it's fine. We've always got Halo and Gears of War.
You want another $20 billion check? No problem. Oh, what you want? You didn't want 20, you wanted 80? No problem. We'll cut that check for you. Oh, wait, you want 100 billion? No problem. They just keep giving them more money. And I don't understand how you can continuously keep paying, and then going, oh, by the way, we messed up here. By the way, we messed up
I
here.
have to wonder
By the way, we messed up here. By the way, we messed up here. By the way, we messed up here. But we got the influencers saying cool things about Game Pass.
That's my thing. You know, a while ago I said, we were talking about Game Pass, and I said it doesn't make sense to keep giving it money if they're worried, if they're trying to win. But it does make sense if they're making a 50-year play for the field. I wonder if they're not trying to compete at all, and they're just trying to be in the discussion.
Phil Spencer said something that makes me think that. So he said he finally lapsed in his from his media trained usual conversation.
Right. Oh my god, yeah.
And he said something that I think he didn't mean to say.
Okay,
he said,
finally.
Yeah, he said when he became empowered and they made Game Pass and whatnot, it was like, we were simply defending ourselves. And the way that I took that was that, like, they saw that they were on the out. They were on the floor. The guy was counting down. It was like 8, 9, and at the 9th second, they got up and they decided, we're just going to take a bunch of hits. But as long as we're standing at the end of this, it doesn't matter. So they're spending, forcing this Game Pass model on the industry, forcing it into existence, which is kind of working, I have to say, because like PlayStation have just released their service, and who knows who else is going to do their one. And I feel it's just going to, oh God. I feel like that's what happened.
The funny thing is, so the 360, that was the generation where it was the closest. I just looked up the sales numbers. The PS3 sold 87.5 million, and the 360 sold 85.5 million. So those are very, very good numbers and very close. That is by far their best console, and it's been downhill since.
Yeah.
Maybe you wouldn't know that in 2014, right? About the success of your console. But by now we do. So, when did Game Pass pitch? That's 2017.
2017, yeah.
There, I think you know. So in 2014, I think you could maybe say you're going to pass up the MCU because you got these valuable IPs. The 360 is absolutely banged.
Yeah.
I mean, 85 million units. No one's going to no one's turning their nose up at that. That's massive, no matter what, right? But by 2017. You know, there's 3 times as many PS4s out there as there are Xboxes, right? Even when you make the budget versions and the diskless, and you have all these different versions, you make them available, you just can't shift things.
Yeah.
I think he said it that way, but the media training slipped, but not enough for him to be honest, because what he really meant was we were drowning, and I grabbed onto something.
Yeah.
And I don't care if that thing was the games industry and I'm going to drown it too. I grabbed onto something.
I grabbed onto a shark that was passing by. Yes, it's eating my legs, but I'm
At least
here.
I'm not drowning. I'm
not drowning.
Right. So I'm kind of with you. It's certainly possible that they have an idea of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that it a very long-term play, and it doesn't matter how they perform just so long as they stay involved.
Yeah.
But I don't get it, because I would think, like,
I would have been fine if they did something to like stay in and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them. Why would I want them to go away? It's another option for
they
me
need to
play
make Elder Scrolls 6 exclusive.
Yeah.
And that, I think, will rustle many jimmies, but they need it.
They need it. Unfortunately, that's just
Or at least
the
like
way
a
it
3
is.
or 6 month exclusive, yeah.
Thing is, I don't know. They're gonna get a lot of flack for that.
They are. And
A
also,
lot of flack.
all the money is not there.
Exactly.
They need the money from PlayStation owners.
I wouldn't want them to go away. I wouldn't want them to
agree.
die because
Well, I
Halo
would
is
like
good.
these current business practices to die.
That's
I'd
the
like
thing.
it to be hurt enough that they go, we need to get back to what PlayStation's doing.
I don't want them to die, but I don't like the negative effect that they have on the industry.
Yeah.
If they just weren't doing that, I'd be completely happy. You wouldn't even have an Xbox conversation on this podcast, right? It may have just been, I was like, Halo came out. Fortunately, it wasn't the best thing in the world. That's what it is. But we just have to go with it because it's Halo and whatnot. And then the next game. I just don't like the negative effect that they're having on everyone else.
I'll tell you what I would do. If someone goes, Sheps, Phil Spencer's out, you're in. I'd take everyone 2 weeks leave.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. It's not like it's going to delay any games. Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously, at this point, right? I'd go 2 weeks leave. Here's your homework. This is called a 360. Go and play. And these are the approved games. Fable, Halo, Gears of War, Forza, right? Whatever takes your fancy.
This is what made this console great.
Go and study. Right? Frick off. You got 2 weeks. I'm going to be checking your gamer tags because that's something we can do on the 360.
Yeah.
And when you come back, if I have to tell you what to do, you're fired.
Yeah.
Go. That would be what I would do. And when they come back, I'm firing people. If they don't know,
You're all on the block.
If they didn't understand, you're out. You're gone. We'll find someone new. We're Microsoft.
Yeah.
If I've got a tenth of Phil's budget, I can find someone to replace you.
Yeah.
And again, part of the thing, if I was hiring someone for like, we've fired like half our staff. Okay, you're going to be paid to play any of these games, even if you've played them before. Then I want an essay. Then I want you to tell me why I should play this game. That's how. I don't care if you're any good. You can learn to code.
Yeah.
That's how you fix this thing. Here's the 360. Boys, we're getting back to the 360.
Do you know what? A bit of that would go a long way with you, Phil. Because this whole like hands-off approach that you have, it's not just Phil. I'm saying Phil just because he's the guy, he's the face of everything at the moment. But it's everybody there.
Yeah.
This hands-off approach that you have of just letting people do whatever they want out of fear of being called the crunch studio
Right.
it's so dumb because at the end of the day, it's a place of work. Things need to be done.
Right.
We need to provide products
As if
for
other
our
businesses
customers.
don't stay late.
Right. As if other businesses, they're all, they don't
Right.
do any of this stuff,
All right.
Anyway, let me read a few comments out from our boys over on the Discord.
Sorry,
server.
just
Go on.
because you said something really interesting, which I know you bring it up, and I think a lot of people skip it, where you're saying like this hands-off approach. If you notice, my version was also fairly hands-off.
Yeah.
But I gave them a direction.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the thing. If you don't understand why this is good, you can go. If you do understand why it's good, then I don't need to tell you what to do. And you all have your projects. We're probably not cancelling those projects, but that's the thing. Do that.
Yeah.
Even if you have to start from scratch. What Phil does is go, here's the project. Give it
Whatever
to
you
me
want to do is fine.
whenever it's ready.
Wherever. Oh, it's not ready. It's never ready. No problem.
Right. It's been 42 months. Oh, you're still working. Okay, cool. Well,
No worries.
yeah.
Sorry,
Our
sorry.
lunch ran long.
It's like when your mum walks into when you're doing your homework. It's like, is everything okay? Mum, I'm doing homework. Oh, no, sorry.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you're actually working? Okay. Right.
It's like, actually, they're playing Minecraft.
Right. Man, these guys make these great games. I wonder how much this cost to develop. Oh, almost nothing. It was one guy.
Oh, there we go. Black Screen Bro 2 tier writes in. He says, "Okay, so Xbox turned down Marvel games because they thought no one would want to be a superhero. They'd rather be a random guy that can't even talk in his own freaking game. Whatever. They mostly suck to do it anyway. And that's the point. I wonder if they had taken 2014 Microsoft in the middle of the Xbox One era, if they had taken a license from Marvel for whatever character might be, let's say it's a good character,
Yeah.
would they have been able to churn out gold in the middle of the era, which I say I cannot think of one game that is memorable changed the discussion. Noteworthy, even. Just noteworthy. I can't think of one game.
I'm literally Googling Xbox One best games right now.
If you say Sunset Overdrive, I'm going to kill you because that's Insomniac.
The first two, so I don't really count 2019, right? I'm looking for stuff like actually that came. 2019 is the very end, right? The first two are The Witcher 3.
Great. Third party, great.
And Red Dead Redemption.
Great. Third
Forza
party.
20, I'm thinking like, let's say the first half at least of the life cycle. Sekiro, Forza, Halo the Master Chief Collection doesn't really count.
Master Chief Collection, a remaster of what
Sea of Thieves, but that's 2018. Still like
Sea of Thieves wasn't good then. That's the thing. It's only
wasn't.
good now because they've done a bunch of updates to it.
Yeah, it wasn't. Cuphead, Ori, Halo Infinite,
It's just
Doom Eternal, Control.
it's just crazy.
There's nothing. Titanfall.
But even then, I'm only thinking of first party. Like those games were available everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Those games were available everywhere.
Titanfall wasn't on the PlayStation.
Oh
was
wait,
it?
sorry, Titanfall wasn't.
Titanfall wasn't.
But the thing is, as well, while it was good, it didn't make a dent.
Oh yeah, it was COD.
It was like,
It was COD with
it's on a
robots.
system that only 10 people have, so therefore it means nothing.
But also it was, and I'm sure it had a great story in it, so I'm not diminishing the game, but it was Call of Duty with robots,
Yeah.
right? I think that's fair, and I know a lot of people loved it, but it was a very good shooter. It was made by Respawn, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Respawn. So it was really COD, true COD, back when it was good, with robots.
Yeah.
And like wall jumping and stuff. Okay, Assassin's Creed. Most of these are a third party.
Yeah.
I don't see anything really that's, and a lot of it is current.
Yeah.
There's like Nier Automata.
And that's
It
the
Takes
thing,
Two. Like, there's nothing that made waves.
With them not being able to prove themselves in that time, imagine what they would have done if they had a license for a good super. Imagine if they took Spider-Man from us, and then we wouldn't have got Spider-Man, the Insomniac game that everyone raves about.
By comparison, I just searched PS4 best games. It's literally all I did. Xbox One best games, PS4 best games. God of War, Last of Us 2 is 2020, so we won't include that. Spider-Man, so it's the 2018 one. Horizon, Bloodborne. There's The Witcher. There's the Red.
The old 1886. Yeah,
I was talking to somebody the other day in a comment. Someone said, "Oh, I just picked it up for £6. I'm going to try it." And I'm like, "Mate, £6, you got robbed."
You son of a bitch!
And then someone goes like, "Man, it's not that bad." And I was like, "You know what? I bought it at full price on release, and I'm salty because I felt robbed when it ended. But it's not bad. It's just nowhere near worth because there's just not enough game. But at £6, yeah, it's probably all right." But I was like, also, it's a pretty good comment. Ghost of Tsushima, that's too recent.
When was Ghost of Tsushima? Was it 2020? Or 2020? I keep thinking that's older than it is.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. In comparison to anything we've just named, The Last of Us Remastered smashes anything else. Halo Master Chief Collection.
You forgot Knack.
That's a good point.
That was launched. That was a launch game, and it already smoked the Xbox.
I hate it. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm with you. I feel like, let's be fair.
Yeah.
Back in 2014, let's say this was a rumor that we were doing the show in 2014. I think we'd be pretty hopeful.
Yeah.
The 360 was a banger. It might have been a slow year or two in the year and a half for the next generation. Okay, the PS4's doing pretty well, but the Xbox One's still doing fine. I think we'd be pretty hopeful. There haven't been too many L's. We'd probably still be saying it's been a while since we've had a good game. Yeah. Reach was 2010, so it's been 4 years since a good Halo.
Honestly, this is the thing. People might come into gaming now and see us going like, "Oh, you guys are always ragging on Xbox. Always ragging on Xbox." You have to remember, this is 10 years almost of Xbox just not providing. Xbox just doing the same thing of giving us the same mediocrity while other people in the same space are providing greatness. We're having bangers and bangers and bangers coming back to back from every other company, not just PlayStation and Nintendo. We had third-party ones as well, but just Xbox doesn't seem to be able to do it. That's the reason why. And for the first 5, maybe even 6 years, we were all like, okay, The tide has to change at some point.
Yeah, and they've got IPs that are great. They've
Right.
got stuff in the works. They must do a great team, tons of talent.
The sun has to rise. And then they started making all those acquisitions of all those single studios. And we're
Yeah.
like, well, then it just even increases the
Right.
odds. The sun has to rise eventually. Come on now. And then it just never did. And we're still in this situation where we're still waiting. That's the reason why we're at this point now.
We said it when it came out. I think Bethesda's going to prove us right. And what I mean is that Deathloop was managed, in a sense, by PlayStation, i.e., they were given a direction. You have to prove your work. You can't just. They don't just say, "Okay, give it to us when it's ready."
Yeah.
It goes through approvals and stuff, right? Which means, functionally, they were told, "This is what you need to hit. This needs to be improved. Whatever." They were managed. The next one or two Bethesda projects will prove whether or not it is completely that.
Yeah.
Because we will be able to show this is the game they managed to produce. Because I don't doubt the talent at Bethesda. I doubt the decision making.
Yeah.
Under proper guidance, they made Deathloop. Not my kind of thing. Very well regarded, very well received. When they bring out other games and they Fallout 76, we'll be able to say, look, see, we were right. This is one. It's not a symptom. It's a symptom of the cause, which is bad management. This is more proof of that. Because, like you said, now that they have even more houses, and we've seen now, Bethesda can do good things. Current Bethesda can do good things. Old Bethesda, yeah, we know. Now, Deathloop, I would say, fit with their cachet, right? It was of a quality people expected of Bethesda. The next couple of releases, we will see. Fingers crossed. To be clear, I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for Bethesda to start putting out bangers. I'd love for Activision to start putting out good games and not taking advantage of people with microtransactions.
I'd like that too.
More good games is better for us. And if they end up being Xbox exclusives, I'll just buy an Xbox.
Yeah, it's just that simple, isn't it? It's not like there's a massive barrier. It's like, oh, it's impossible. I'm legally obliged to not buy an Xbox now.
There's no reason not to.
I'll read out Tailgate's comment, who wrote into our Discord server just like you guys can. And he said, all the Twitter Xbox called Sony anti-consumer for making Spider-Man 2018 and the KOTOR Remake exclusive to PS. They have their own corporate overlords to blame for that happening.
Facts.
It's so funny because now it's just all of those messages, all those people, it's like Spider-Man belongs everywhere.
Right.
Everyone deserves to have Spider-Man. It's like,
not according to your overlords.
your overlord said nah. Your overlord said
Your
no.
boy Phil.
It says Microsoft missed an opportunity to make a quick buck with that one, but hey, at least the Wii PlayStation players get 2 Spider-Man games out of it and potentially a great Star Wars game from it. So yeah, Xbox have themselves to blame for this one.
I don't even think it was a quick buck. That's a serious paycheck.
Yeah, that's an investment. Right
Yeah.
there. I don't know how much it cost investment, but the marketing, the license probably wasn't cheap.
Well,
It wasn't
also,
cheap for that.
No, it definitely wasn't. But the other thing is that, and obviously you could not have known this when you turned the deal down, but since then, the most successful, I would argue, I actually love all of the Spider-Man films, even the Raimi trilogy, but they are like the most curated movies. I think Far From No Way Home is probably actually is the best one, but that's besides the point, and only because it's got the other Spider-Man. But if you honestly think, and again, you couldn't have known this at the time when you did the deal, but if you honestly think that those movies' success doesn't trickle down to game sales, that we didn't walk out of No Way Home and want to just destroy every Spider-Man game I could get my hands on, like you're smoking something.
And this brings up a point that I want to bring up as well. Let's say they turned down the deal then.
Yeah.
They didn't close the door, bolt it, and then what's the thing with metal that you do? Weld. They didn't weld it shut.
It's the metal hot glue, It's like, comes out like sticks down.
They didn't weld the door shut and put like a fucking massive ass bookcase in front of it and go, we can never open that door again.
Well, they shouldn't have. That is what they did, but they shouldn't have.
That's it. Well, this is the thing. Why haven't they gone back since that day? Why haven't they gone to Marvel and go, okay, we realize our mistake with Spider-Man. You have hundreds of other characters. Are you making a Cap game? Are you making an Iron Man game? Are you making a Hulk game? Are you making a Hawkeye game? Even a fucking a Black Widow game, or any of the other characters? A Thor game? Anyone? You are? Can we have one? We have a potential. We have a prospect. We have this studio is really good with this type of thing. We think it can fit there. Why haven't they gone back in the 7-8 years to get something?
Right. Answer, because it's a real question. This is a real answer, because the secure seat said, we're going to focus on our own stuff, we don't want you, and somebody else said, good luck finding a unicorn, right? And these two very secure jobs for some reason. You and I would say, this is an incredible opportunity. Right now we're focusing on our own IPs. We just don't have the bandwidth, we don't have the space for this thing. That is likely to change in the next 2 to 3 years. I want this discussion to continue forward. I don't expect you to wait. I expect to find someone else. I would even recommend you some people if you want to go somewhere. Yeah. I want one of these projects. Right now, we just can't handle it. Yeah. But I want this IP. Can I sign something tentative, a letter of intent for the next Spider-Man game?
2 years hold on this thing right here. Right. We'll come back. I'll pay you this amount of money, whatever it might be.
How about, okay, you're going to take Spider-Man. I totally understand. You're very passionate about it. Could we put something tentatively in writing, a letter of intent for another thing? Maybe we say, keep it broad. We say something in the X-Men field so that you can still do whatever you want with the IP. But then when we come to you, we can nail something down. Maybe an exclusive, something like that. We would keep the options open, because why wouldn't you? Because all the wind is blowing in the favor of Marvel in 2014. Yeah. And we've seen Spider-Man games before. It's an opportunity. Why would you say, we're going to focus on our own IPs, and then let somebody else say, good luck finding a unicorn? Get fricked. I think Marvel wouldn't go to them. They just won't entertain it. That would what I would do if no one's going to be that. Because the thing with Marvel and Disney is that they're investing, right? In the sense that they didn't just make the Avengers as they came out. Yeah. They knew that they were playing towards Avengers movies, and exactly upon with the DCEU, it's like a mile wide and an inch deep, right? Like, they knew that these people all needed a couple of movies to establish themselves. Then they'd come to the Avengers. Then they were going to go to like phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. They're investing, they're planning for continual stuff, because it prints money, so they plan ahead for this stuff. These guys obviously are too short-sighted, so frick them.
It is funny how, like, Activision were the ones that turned around and said, hey, what are you going to do with this license? We're going to find a better home for it. And they're like, good luck finding your unicorn. Someone better than us. Psh. And now Xbox is buying Activision. Right. It's almost like a match made in heaven.
It really is, isn't it?
Both of them with stupid management, short-sightedness. It's so weird.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway, all of this just leads me to the idea that the management is just completely incompetent.
Oh, it really is.
They've got some good stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's all fucking terrible over there. And
it can't be all of them. It's just a few key decision makers.
But it seems to be they're stepping on rakes wherever they go. That's affecting affecting the future of Xbox all the time. I feel like it's the argument that everybody makes why they feel like they want to be on Xbox's side. It's because they are the richest company in the world, and they're in gaming, and they seem to want to give us everything for very little in return.
Yeah.
That should spell massive success, because unlimited money, I mean, Batman does it, and it seems to be unbelievable.
It's literally the best superpower out there. He can defeat anyone.
Iron Man does it, and he fucking uses Iron Man. Yeah. All these rich people seem to do it, and it works out well for them. This is fictional, but anyway. It should work out in the same way, but it doesn't. Why? Because their management keeps stepping on these rakes. And they seem to be obvious rakes. It's like, I wonder what that is. Bang, ow, my nose.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it'll be different this time. Whack.
Exactly. It's so weird.
It is very bizarre, and it goes to show that unlimited money on its own doesn't get things done. But we know this from like our local governments. We were talking about the cycle lanes and the paving around you recently, and the price tag on this stuff you would not believe. It doesn't cost that to do this, and it was a mistake, and they keep making mistakes. They didn't learn their lesson. So
that's what they are. They're a government.
Yes.
They're a government.
Well, they
just
got the
full
GDP of a
idiot-
country.
They do, yeah.
So
They're just idiots in power. Everyone's paying
That's it, yeah.
for ridiculous projects.
and you can never seem to get those idiots that you want out.
yeah.
You know, yeah.
All right.
Talking about the losers
Oh, the losers. Gosh.
in the gaming space. Do you have it ready?
Yes, I do.
God damn!
I have it ready
I was
this
like,
time.
oh, he's going to transition to the next thing. Aha! Frick. Our true gamers over on patreon.com/conversations that make this podcast in particular happen. I was going to say something, but I didn't have anything prepped because I don't actually.
In case, let me do it in the other way that I do it. Guys, this is the True Gamer Podcast.
Organic.
Coming to your eyes it is coming to your eyes it is every Saturday here at youtube.com/Conbrosations1. If you like what we do here and you like what you're watching / hearing, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for occasional notifications from YouTube when we do stuff like this. And if you're listening to us on podcast services, you can hit that the 5-star button and rate us. Give us a it sounded weird when I said it. Rate us 5 stars. That sounds better. Rate us 5 stars and leave a little review because it makes us feel good inside the panty region. Right,
that's right.
It feels really good right there.
That's right.
If you guys love us. A lot though. If you guys want to take the support,
like a lot.
like a lot. Oh my god, how am I going to take all of that kind of thing? It's like,
Oh my God. It's the loop. We mentioned it before. And for more of that, you actually get access to a podcast dedicated.
exactly. If you guys like us that much and you want to go a step further, you can head over to patreon.com/Conbrosations. Kick us a couple of bucks a month. It was head movement right there.
No, I was
there
sitting
was
back up. I was sitting back up. I knew
head movement
I
in
knew
that one.
motherfuckers were going to
Clip
pick
it,
on
guys. Clip it.
That's going to get like forensically slowed down and be like, see, his head tilts in towards the thing. That's totally a dab.
Alpha's going to get out his protractor and be like, there was a 20-degree angle right there. Counts as a dab.
Yeah. In all literature, the dab is classified as more than a 14-degree angle of. God damn it!
No, damn it. Head over to patreon.com/Conbrosations where you can kick us a couple of bucks a month, get exclusive access to the Conbrosations podcast for just $1 a month. It's our no filter, no bars hold podcast where we talk about anything and everything.
Yeah.
We just did a 2-hour one and it was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, by the way, they don't normally go 2 hours. That one, the reason it went 2 hours, we specifically sat down and said, this one needs to be a short one.
Yeah, that when we say that, instantly long. That's what happens.
Because we were actually specifically trying to keep it short.
What happened is we were in the new set, we were comfortable, so we just went on for ages.
Yeah.
And at the $5 tier, you enter our True Gamer tier, where you get read out on the show as a True Gamer, just like these people right here. These people are Adam the High Quality Potato, Jeremy Horde, Sheps is Krusty Right Nut, Isak Manny, Adam the Banana Ghoul Simp, Clark53, Cats Bacoral, Sab2557, Kevin Crow, Joe McCormack, Super Whale Ben Diogo, hashtag Make Nice Guys 2 please for the love of fuck Hollywood, Gams True Gamer Master, Gerald Tucker, Enraged Seahawk of Seattle, Fishy, The Jackal, The Bat Fan, Mikey T, Max H, Make Bindis Mod, what the fuck? Oh my god, the screen went weird for a second there. Max H, Make Bindis Mod, Cobra SS, Sam Mason, and Albie Scory. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here at Conbrosations.
I feel like that's 3 of you that need to up to $10
I
because
feel-
you've got double shout outs.
So, Make Bindis Mod, Max H, Mikey T.
And now it's Super Bros. That was 3.
Exactly, you need to go. Sorry, you guys need to go.
Motherfrickers, get fricked. We don't make the rules.
Mikey T's already a super bro.
We
He
just
needs
take
to
the
go
payments.
to $69 tier. That's what he needs to go.
Nice.
However, guys, if you don't want to kick us a couple of bucks a month, if you don't feel like we're even good enough, or maybe you just don't have the money.
I
you know,
get it.
whatever Yeah, I get it. But totally fine. We understand you just being here, listening to our voices, commenting and stuff like that. We love that. We're happy you're here. That's all we care about, really. Thank you guys so much.
Just 2 things.
Go ahead.
One, only took us an hour to get to the like the video bit, so please, do like the video. It's useful. And 2, it's a good thing that basically being an ad for our own stuff was nice and clean and concise, and we didn't derail it right in the middle of it, because that would have not been ideal for an ad read.
Exactly.
Maybe we should. I don't know. I'm going to say out loud, but this is a tentative. We're not committing to anything, but maybe we should do an ad for our own Patreon.
Ooh, cut it in.
You know how we did for Manscaped?
Okay.
We should brainstorm that just for fun for us. Frick you! None of you. No, it's not in any of the benefits. Get fricked.
Have you guys ever done that? Well, subscribe to Conbrosations.
Right. Maybe we'll brainstorm something
Yeah.
and just throw it in.
Bro,
Yes,
let's kick it over to your favourite segment,
that's right.
Correcting Conbrosations.
So look, if you're new around here, obviously you're not new. We don't get a new audience. If you're new around here, we say things on the internet. We've never let pesky things like facts, information, the truth get in the way of a strongly held belief. But sometimes we say things that aren't exactly accurate. And when that happens in this podcast, all you do is head down to the comment section of this video and you type out, you say, at 17 minutes and oh wait, 29's really in there. Messed it up.
You messed it up.
Never mind.
You
Skip
said
it.
real time.
Skip it. Just head down, timestamp where we said whatever stupid thing that we said, and read out our corrections. We're obviously not going to have any this week because our brains are so big and wrinkly. We have ballsack brains, unlike these little chicken cutlet smooth brain rares. You could.
Ballsack
I was like, I'm gonna say it. Oh, I said it. Why did I say it?
Ballsack
They're
brains.
wrinkly. They're wrinkly. Tell me they're not wrinkly. Are you telling me yours isn't wrinkly? Do you moisturize? Just smooth.
They have no retractability or anything. They're
just
just smooth. Like
Just a clean sack. Yeah.
That's so weird. I never thought about it. Oh god. Okay.
Where do you think your hair comes from?
They're both brains. That's it. We need to cover them.
That's
a little
right.
bit. Oh god. Gamsmaster13 wrote in and said, correcting Conbrosations. He said, last episode, you wanted us to answer Diego's question in the YouTube comments, and you didn't read it out. Fucking livid, he said. He said, love the new setup, lads. And I'll read his comment out now.
I was going to say, please direct all complaints thusly.
This is what happens. Because none of us actually, we've not set anything to do. Like, if anything needs to get done, no one's in charge of that.
Correct.
We just come here, we're like, man, that thing needs to really get done. Okay. And then we just go about our day, nothing.
Well,
we
and
don't,
also,
we don't assign it to anyone, bro. Can you do that for me?
it's the Xbox management system, you know?
We are throwing stones.
And this is proof. We know it doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. We live our lives this way. The other thing is, because we not only do we not set any of these tasks,
Yeah.
so it's not like, oh, we'll do these comments, you get the comments up. It's, we need to do this thing. Ooh, that's shiny. Or, oh, wait, before I forget, Forspoken.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Anyway, this had better be a banger
The pressure's on now. The pressure's on.
for what you wrote already.
My most detested game moment comes from...
Oh, yeah. So the question was,
Yeah.
what is your most hated game, like, trope mechanic, thing that they make you do in games?
Yeah.
Go.
Well, he says, my most detested moment comes from Elden Ring. I'll probably be told to just get good, but shut up. Well, the fuck am I...
Bloody hell.
That's really loud.
That's very loud.
I absolutely hate it when it's seemingly halfway between grace points and die just after completing a really difficult group fight and losing all of my runes that I've been saving for gear and upgrades, only to then just reset the encounter and die to the group I just valiantly defeated and lose all of those runes forever. Fucking bullshit. 10 out of 10 game though, he says. So
I mean,
the
get
thing
good.
is, this is the draw of the game. This is the point of the game. This is like going, man, I really hate how deep that machine goes inside me. That's its intended purpose.
Pardon me?
Sorry?
Pardon me?
Talking about his comment.
Uh-huh. I feel like, I thought you said how deep the... never mind, please continue.
No, it's if it's intended purpose, you can't really go
Right.
too far in it, but I get you, that is the part of the feeling. And
It's
I tried
supposed to be high
explain-
risk, high reward. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I tried to explain this to you the other day. Like, you get those lows, but then you get the highs of like beating this big boss.
Yeah.
But then it's also the lows, and they're pretty low. They're pretty low right there. Let me.
I just think it would be funny to like. I sort of get that. So I've just recently played a bit of Elden Ring, and I've given it back to you because it's just not doing it for me.
Yeah.
We'll discuss that probably if we get time somewhere. But let's say you beat a big boss, and then you come out of the zone and then just get clapped by something and lose all of your runes for beating the big boss. That I would not tolerate. That I wouldn't be able to. I know people are saying, well, if you beat the big boss, you shouldn't lose to this like mob, but sometimes you get jumped.
I think this might be a downside of the open world, because I know in Bloodborne, when you beat a big boss, and in Demon Souls
Yeah.
as well, you beat the big boss and like a lantern appears right there, which is like a save point, a place of grace, I guess it's called in Elden Ring.
For the record, I haven't beat any of the big boss, so I don't know if that's a thing.
So that's what would happen, and then you'd be able to go to the main hub area and then use your runes or your blood echoes, whatever it might be. So that might be. I haven't played Elden Ring yet, so I don't know. That might be a thing actually.
Really.
So he might have a valid point here.
Maybe.
I don't want to say he is, because he's an upside down lad, and
Mate.
those fuckers, they don't know anything.
Also, I mean, like, he's popped his head out of the kangaroo pouch just to write this comment. He probably doesn't know what it looks like to game in natural light, you know?
Exactly, that's what it is. His eyes haven't adjusted for years. He's Riddick, that's what he is. Did Riddick get his eyes replaced?
He says he paid 20 menthol calls to get a shine job, which I feel like
insanely
when I was a kid, getting a shiner meant either a black eye or a blowjob. So,
yeah.
but his eyes look sick.
His eyes do look sick. And then when it's in the night, he takes
One
it
of my
off and
favourite freaking lines of any movie is, you know, there's a scene where, we'll get back to gaming, don't worry, where like they're going towards a shuttle and they're like all teaming up now because they know they've got limited time, and he pops it up. How does it look? Looks clear. Immediately shit flies over top. I thought you said it was clear. I said it'll look clear. Well, how's it look? Looks clear.
looks clear.
I don't know why, I just love that line so much. Anyway,
Yes.
back to creating conversations. Anything else?
Giuseppe writes in, he says, congrats on the new studio, it looks awesome.
Gaming, thank you, bro.
One guy's asking, did you play the tutorial portion of Elden Ring? Because you were saying you had problems, you didn't know how it was going.
Yeah.
Oh, he says many people missed it, he said.
I think
maybe
I did.
it's very easily missed.
I think I did. Is you go down to some little like cave thing, and I'm pretty sure I did. Yes, but I'm also, despite all like jokes, not a noob. Like, I'm not bad at gaming. Not bad enough. People have seen me
Spider-Man.
play.
Did you see Spider-Man?
Also, I was going to bring it up. You know, people said, you know, when you fight a boss and they redo the line, you have to hear it constantly.
Yeah.
Everybody got to see the Vengeance thing on my stream when I was playing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the problem was there, but anyway, that was funny. But, like, to be clear, I'm not bad. So it's not like... no, I will say, as we came to... Have we got any more corrections? We'll do a quick Elden Ring wrap-up.
Not a correction. No. There's one more comment from Diogo. It says, in death resulting in complete level restarts. The worst game that's done this I've played is Mafia 2. You can't free roam like in normal other games. You load into chapters, but you don't receive checkpoints unless you start the mission. So if you're free roaming and die, you just restart the whole chapter. Oh my god. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Because there's no checkpoints. It's so annoying because loading screens back then were slow.
Yes, they were. Even today, it's just an inconvenience, isn't it?
Ball ache.
Really is. So, quick Elden Ring wrap-up. I've given it back to you. It's not really doing it for me. I don't really care about the difficulty of the combat. Don't really care. And I don't mean that I don't care for it. I just don't care. It's not doing it for me, but it's not killing it for me either.
Being a coward. Just tell them what I told you. It is a shit game. Everyone who likes it is shit. And, you know, you need to fucking
Well,
deal
that's
with
what
it.
I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
Because the big draw is the combat.
Yeah.
But it's meh.
And it sucks.
And the world's empty. It is actually... Weirdly, this is 100% true. I haven't found hardly any fricking quests. Get fricked. Anyone who says, oh, you've still not playing it. Bruv, I've explored most of all of Limegrave, half of the way up to the top. I've crossed that bridge. Literally, there's a bridge that's like broken and shit. I've crossed a bunch of shit. I've got a lot of the map explored. I found 2, maybe 3 quests. One, some chick tells you to go to Castle Morn and like give a message to her dad, fine, whatever. And 2, I actually found a guy that should be impossible to find. I couldn't find any freaking quests anywhere, and I'm running around getting chased by something, and oi, you! And I'm like, what the frick? Go looking for this thing, and there's a dude that got turned into a tree, so he's functionally invisible, and I managed to find him.
So you are looking for stuff.
Oh yeah, and I've been around the map. I'm sure it gets bigger, but I have got all of that bottom, all the way to Limegrave and above, like 2 sections. I got a lot of the map explored. No freaking quest. The game's shit.
There
Shit.
you go. Conbrosations, True Gamer Podcast official stance. Elden Ring is shit.
Also, get fricked because I can't remember. I googled what's the best class to be a big sword swingy guy, right? Because that's what I wanted to do. And it's like, oh, use this thing. It's like a knight dude. You know, I was telling you I was having this problem with Margit.
Yeah.
I was fat rolling.
There was fat rolling.
And you did
then.
tell me, and I did look into it, and I just was like, well, I'm getting basically one shot anyway, so the armor doesn't help. I'll just take it off. It doesn't help.
So you just run
I
around
can't
naked
be
with
more
swords.
one shot.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Right? So I did that, and yeah, helped immensely. I haven't actually fought Margit, and I'm probably not because I gave you back the game. Probably should have done that. Oh well.
Now you've already given your review of it, so it's good.
Yeah. But like, it's just, if you're going to give me starting gear, I expect to be able to use the starting gear.
Yeah.
This dude was really struggling. And I explored a bunch. I found 2 of these, there's sites, there's like rings on the map where you go to it and it's like a boss. So I found this dude, Aiden, the fire thief or something.
Oh, sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't beat the guy, clap my cheese. But
You're used to that, fortunately. So.
well, also, like, and this is the thing. The game's shit, but not because I'm not good at it.
Facts. You're a true gamer. You're a host of the True Gamer Podcast. There's
It's a fact.
There's a credentials you have to fit.
Right.
You can't just be hired and then that's it.
And the other thing is, I actually don't think the game's that hard. I think all it is a really unappealing timing. And I genuinely mean that. So like the dodging, you have to wait way too long. Every normal human instinct makes you go, it's coming, it's coming. The guy like cocks back, and then even further, and then swings. Well, I'm out of rolls. I've used all of my endurance to roll because he's cocking. That's the full swing. He just waits.
They do that all the time in Souls games. There's so many. Anyone who knows a Souls game, you'll know there'll be these like beasts, these giant fire beasts, something like that, and he rolls back his arm, and you're like, "Oh, it's coming!" And it's just a still cooking. It's like, how are you still cooking this back? And then they do the quickest attack, and you're like, well, there's no way I'm gonna get that. No way I'm gonna get that.
So that basically,
but until you figure out it does work.
The other thing is what I just decided to do. I found this small boss. It wasn't really a boss.
Yeah.
Just a high health mob. I mean, that's all they are. This game's shit. There's a cave under Castle Morn, and there's just one of those lizardy dudes with a big hammer thing.
Okay.
You'll see it in the game. I assume it's a similar type of.
I guess.
I think it's named, but I can't remember what it was called. And I fought that, and I was having this same problem. I was like, you know what, frick it, I'm just gonna wait. When I want to dodge, I'm gonna count to 3 and then do it, sort of thing. And that I one shot once I started doing that. And I did get the one thing where like I did a perfect dodge and then an attack, and it gave me like an animation of a critical strike, sort of thing. That was cool, but like not enough to get me to really like love the game.
Yeah.
So for me, for right now, I'm giving it back. And I am really genuinely hoping that you'll get it and go, oh, quests, there actually are tons of them. You're in the totally wrong area, or one thing that really annoyed me.
Go on.
You know, I said that quest, the one girl tells you to go speak to her dad in a castle or something, right?
Yeah.
Not the first time. She just goes, oh, is somebody there? And you're like, yeah, I'm here. She's like, okay, cool. And then you have to interact again, and she gives me the quest. And I'm like, that's really annoying.
Weird, yeah.
Now, maybe, because I never went back to that sanctuary place once I first discovered it, maybe you'll go there and be like, oh yeah, all the quests are there.
Maybe.
Or something. Because I haven't been back and I didn't care. I was just exploring. I've explored a bunch of the map. There should be NPCs around. There aren't. It's shit game.
Shit game. Worse than Red Dead Redemption 2, and that is a shit game.
I thought it was impossible.
Exactly. I thought it was impossible as well.
But I do, having played it, just because I played Sifu, for example. I didn't like it. It's a good game.
You can recognize it.
This one, I get the feeling the story is incredible, and I had no way to access it. And one of the big sins that it committed is I never really knew where I was supposed to be going. You get to these grace points, and it kind of shows you on the map, hey, go this way. There's like a little arrow from each grace point.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it's pointing. I don't know why it's pointing there. I don't have like a quest log to go, defeat Margit, the Devourer, so that you can progress. So I don't really know what I'm doing. There aren't a lot of people to interact with. and I never knew if I was interacting with. So like, there's one girl I found who's just lying somewhere because she's scared and doesn't want to leave. And I'm like, oh, I'll talk to her again because she's obviously a quest, right? I learned from that one chick. Nah, she just stays there.
I'm just scared.
I'm just scared. So I'm like, I never know. And if it's there, I'll find it. You know, like I found this invisible dude who was a tree. Like I thought he was invisible. He's actually a tree.
Wait, they got Mimir in the game?
Sorry. So like, I'm looking.
God of War is the blueprint. God of War.
Obviously, we've
And
seen
then
this.
the blueprint of God of War is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Exactly.
as
And
we
that's
know.
the correct order as well.
Exactly.
Anyway.
All right, should we move on to our next
Yeah.
topic? Okay. So, our next topic is the stupidity of PlayStation. Except maybe they're not so stupid. Well, but I still think this is pretty stupid.
I
but
was
it's
getting
not as
ready
stupid.
to fry these dudes.
This was going to be the topic of the show. I want
Yeah.
everyone to know because I was fully ready to flame them as well.
Oh yeah, I was ready to like uncork all the stuff, you know.
You
Yeah,
know, where
really
you crack your fingers,
yeah.
crack your back, crack your legs, and what else? What was going to be right there. Right. Let me read the story
legs?
as it. You crack your legs, you know, crack them open. You put them behind your back,
Of course. Oh,
behind your head.
why didn't you say that?
Pretzel. Anyway, let me read the story as it came out and how I was going to present it. It goes, according to reports from Asia, because PlayStation Plus has launched in Asia now, not so much in everywhere else, but has launched over there.
Yes.
Who have access to the new PlayStation Plus. If you got your PlayStation Plus subscription at a discount, you'll be charged the higher upgrade fee plus the discount that you saved in order to upgrade to the new tiers.
Basically, it's full price.
Basically, so the way it would work is that if you had purchased your PlayStation Plus subscription at 50% discount at like Black Friday, like we said to do, whatever it might be, when it comes for you to upgrade, say that you go, I've got Essential and I want to go to the premium tier, you would have to pay that 50% discount and then on top of that, the upgrade fee to get to the premium tier. One guy posted his screenshot on Discord server and then it made its way to Reddit. This guy stacked 20 years of PlayStation Plus back in the day.
Wow.
Everything was okay. And then when he went to go upgrade to the PlayStation Plus premium tier,
Yeah.
he had to pay an additional $1,000. $1,000 or stay at the basic tier forever. Because
you can't upgrade. You have to get the full whack.
you have to first do all of the discount and then go to thing. And I was like, what a load of shit, Sony. Like, I've been a PlayStation fan. I've got all the PlayStations stacked up over here.
Yeah.
I've been a PlayStation fan since the PS1.
Yeah.
I've had all other kinds of systems as well, but I've played since the beginning. I know how Sony works. They take 5 steps forwards and then take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
And every single time it's completely self-inflicted. It's, oh, I hurt myself in confusion. You bloody idiots. It's every single time.
Yeah. Every time.
PlayStation 3, great console. Let's stick a ridiculously hard proprietary chip inside it to fuck with every developer to go in there.
Straight for the jugular with that one, didn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, oh, cool. I'll tell you what. We're going to say we're going to give free upgrades and then we're going to charge $10 just to make everyone upset with that. Fucking bars. We're going to... a bunch of this stuff that just completely self-inflicted. No
Yes.
one does it to them. And then when this came along, I was like, this is classic Sony.
This is
You
them, innit?
Bastards, you've done it again, haven't you? And the worst part is that it hasn't even launched in Western countries. So this isn't doing it on launch day. This is doing it pre-launch day,
Yep.
screwing yourself to make it even worse.
Yes.
And then it turns out it was a mistake or whatever it was. Sony haven't issued any statements on this. But 2 days later, the same people took to Reddit and was like, okay, it looks like it was a mistake, that maybe it was like a calculation problem. Now the price has gone down to something very, very... It's just the upgrade fee that you're paying for. And I was like... All this pent-up anger now has just been inside me.
I'm
and
kind of
like,
angry that I can't. So just to get a little bit of it out, because
Go
I
on,
came
do
here
it.
fully expecting
Do
this.
it.
What if this was, because they get led round by Microsoft. They were gonna do this, but unlike Microsoft, they actually were like prepared and keep their finger on the pulse and realize that, oh, people aren't going to be okay with having to pay $1,000 or whatever their upgrade is, right? Then maybe when you say a price and then double it or change it, or like you get it at a discount, but then they're going to take away the discount and you have to pay the full price.
Yeah.
they're not happy and they're like, oh no, it was a calculation error. I gotta be honest, I actually don't believe that. I want to.
I don't believe it as well, because the far more likely scenario in my mind, and Zach Chino's already flamed me in my DMs about this. He's like, if this was Xbox, you would have been saying. I was like, no, that's not true. I would have done the same thing. But the way that I see it is that clearly they put in a calculation and like an algorithm, a formula into the system, so that when somebody comes along, it can be like, okay, so you're 6 months into your PS Plus subscription, you would have 6 months more of PlayStation Plus Premium, wherever it is. We're not going to charge you for the full year. We're going to charge you for that bit, so it meets at the same time, and then from then on you can make your decision and whatnot. And clearly they put that in, and they must have put it based on a price rather than on like how many months.
That's probably real.
Or how the calculation worked out. And then it just went, oh, you've only paid $10 for 4 years. Well, we're going to have to charge you the full amount as well as the full amount. Clearly that's what's happened, because there was no statement. It just happened in 2 days and they flipped it over.
There was no... Here's the difference. What you didn't hear from Sony was, we've heard you.
We hear you.
And that's how you know either they actually have a functioning PR team, or it was actually a mistake. Which is really annoying, because I kind of wanted to flame them heavily.
Because
also,
it would have been rightfully deserved.
It would have been well deserved, and we would have been able to say, no. Here's a really egregious mistake they made, and we destroyed them over it. Unfortunately,
PlayStation are angels. Unfortunately,
it's just dubs. It's just dubs.
They're just walking around like this the whole time. Hey! And then we're right behind them. Hey!
The thing is, though, you described it really well, but I want to add to, you said they take 5 steps forward and then 2 steps back. But what I feel like what they do is they take 5 steps forward and then just flop back fully on themselves, and then like, I'm trying to think of a Japanese name, Takeshi like drags them the extra step, and then they stand up, dust themselves off, and they're like, oh yeah, we're PlayStation, that's right, we'll keep walking. It just, for some reason they do that. It's very, very strange.
Honestly, the only 2 people over at PlayStation names that I hear that I only like are Herman Hulst, the head of PlayStation Studios.
A very Japanese name.
A very Japanese name. And Shuhei Yoshida. The only 2 people. So I can imagine them, Sony falling over and them 2 just dragging the corpse, just like, come on!
Like, Shuhei falls over. It's like, Herman-san, I've fallen over. Help me up.
We're borderline here. We're borderline.
Ghost of Tsushima told me it was okay, because they use Japanese accents on the English dub. Or really, I just have the impression that he's like pranking him. He's like, Herman-san, I fell over again. That's kind of half German there, but you know.
And now we're moving into step bro territory. Let's not go. Okay.
Oh, step Herman.
Step Herman right there. Yeah, so it fucking sucks.
It's just stupid, but the thing is, gamers, we all jump to conclusions. Of course we do. But maybe this is smart PR, and I hope Xbox doesn't learn this, but instead of just changing it, which kind of says, okay, this was a mistake, releasing the statement's the thing that's the nail in the coffin, isn't it?
That's what makes it seem like, oh, you tried to screw us.
You tried to screw us.
But you're really sorry that you couldn't get away with it.
We're sorry.
Yeah. We're very sorry that this happened.
Have you seen that South Park clip?
Yeah,
BP. We're sorry. We're sorry. Yeah. It's just frickin' Xbox. Frick Xbox.
I also want to put a correction on last week's episode that I was talking about. I was saying how, we was talking about how many games were announced.
Yes.
I was under the impression, I maybe made that seem this way, that the service was going to launch with those 740 games, but we only have heard of the 16% of them, 110 of them, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It turns out that that's how much they're planning to bring out. But they've launched with the 119, whatever it is, and they're going to trickle out the rest of them. I want to make that clear. That's why I was a bit more defensive of them, because I was like, there's going to be like another 400, 600 that come out, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But the launch lineup that's there already doesn't really tickle my fancy, especially in the classics department.
I tend to agree, yeah.
I was like, we talked about like Simpsons Hit and Run. We're talking about all these other...
There's 4 games that we want to play.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're not there, which is a bit of a shitty thing.
I think the way it was worded for their release and the way because we spoke about it in that same sort of language, it's been made to sound like day one, 700 titles.
Yeah.
It's not rolling out that way. I don't know if you thought that. I assumed they wouldn't have, even if it sounded that way, but I was like, there's no way they'll have 700 titles ready.
Yeah.
Especially PS3, because we've been hearing that each one needs its own emulator, basically.
I thought it was going to be like the... when they said backwards compatibility of PlayStation 4 games on PS5, where they were like, we've got a lot of games running. And it's like, hold on a sec, a lot? You don't have all of them running? And then they mentioned a list of like 30 games. And we're like, that's nothing.
That's not a lot.
What's going on? And then it turned out it was all but 5 games that worked on things. I thought that's what they were doing, but it turns out it's not what they were doing. So I was like, all right.
I mean, for the record, I will expect all PS4 games.
Yeah. I think all PS4 games, but those like 3 or 5 or something.
Yeah,
like
barring a couple of bizarre ones, I will expect that entire library to be there.
The PS.
So where is the PS2? Where is the PS? PS3? I will give you. Take as much time as you need for that.
Yeah.
Your own fault, but that's a difficult one.
Yeah.
PS4, that needs to be there day one.
Yeah.
And where is the PS1?
There was no PS2 games on there.
That's weird to me because the PS2 did not have. PS2 was just a more powerful PS1, basically, right? Didn't have some weird proprietary code, didn't have some weird proprietary chipset, didn't have anything weird with it. If you can do PS1, you should be able to do PS2. Yeah. There's no real reason for that. So that I am surprised by, and I wonder if this is a terrible omen or it's going to be a surprise where like, hey, here's all of it.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I doubt
it probably is a bad omen, but also I gotta be honest, not a service I care about. So it's weird. I want us to talk about it. I just don't care.
I think it's gonna be like Game Pass was when it first started. It wasn't what it is today, and I think it's gonna live or die by those third party games that they just nab every now and again. They go this one's on here day one. Oh, okay, they managed to get that deal. Yeah. Or this really cool thing is on here now. Or even though everyone's bought The Witcher, when The Witcher comes out and it's got its upgrade, PS5 upgrade, which I'm going to go on record right now and I'm going to say is not going to be good at all. It's going to be very underwhelming.
I am so glad you said that because I agree. We're going to play it because we love The Witcher. Of course, we'll play the upgrade.
And a minor bump up where we can turn that down.
It will be...
It's going to be CDP Cyberpunk 2077's upgrade. It's like, shadows are a bit better.
It's going to be 45 frames per second. Shadows. Half the bugs for Roach will be back.
Yeah.
There's going to be... What are they going to mess up? Now, is it them or is it another company? They took it off a Russian company, so they're doing it in-house.
Yeah, they took it off of them after a while, and they went, yeah, cool. Which
obviously because of all the Ukraine stuff.
By the way, seeing as we're talking about it, the CDPR came out and confirmed that the next generation patch will be out Q4 now, 2022. So it went from late 2021 to early 2022, and now it's late 2022.
Yeah, so. I mean, from CDPR with Cyberpunk, we know this is all. It's okay though. They're going to be refined.
This is the thing. When you delay a game, it's guaranteed to be better, as we say every single time, and it's true every single time.
So, Roach bugs will be back. There'll be horrendous texture popping. They'll do something like what happened with like the rain. You won't be able to see through it. Be something weird like that.
Like GTA.
Yeah. The shadows will be. They'll do the thing. You remember when COD had light coming from here, but shadows going the other way. They'll have stuff like that.
Anyway, I'm going to record and saying that's not going to work out there. Anyway, that's the PlayStation news that we were going to be angry about, and unfortunately got that anger taken away.
To the wind out of our sails.
Blue balls here.
Do you want to do my one now?
Yeah, let's hear over to your one. So we're talking about Forspoken. Go on, tell us all about what's going on.
Forspoken has been age rated now.
Okay.
And it's been rated 18.
Okay.
That's good news, right?
Interesting. Sounds interesting.
Let me read to you the 3 things that were given as the reason in this title for the age rating.
Okay.
Strong language.
Okay.
Alcohol use.
Okay.
In-game purchases.
Okay.
So my tweet read, "You had me in the first half, but then." Now, People are saying in-game purchases, a lot of games have in-game purchases. It's things like DLC.
Yeah.
And I replied to those people and I said, things like DLC, being like an in-game purchase, have little to no impact on the age rating. Generally, DLC's a common thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're getting microtransactions. Right, it's in it. That doesn't. I feel like strong language and alcohol. We're at 15. You know.
I think we have to see. I think this is probably going to be the first time I've seen this ever been like, because I've not seen an age rating been put higher because of in-game microtransactions. It could be
surprise mechanics.
That's the thing. It could be because after all of the shit that EA will put the whole gaming industry through, it could be now they're regarded as gambling, and now these advisory boards, they have to now regard it as gambling, regardless of even it is. So it could mean Forspoken has loot boxes. It could mean that.
Yeah. Which I would think would be a very bad thing regardless. I don't see any way of making this. The fact that
these are good loot boxes.
The fact that the in-game purchases made it into the statement, and in particular the title of this article, feels to me, I haven't read the article, I read the headline, that's enough.
That's enough, guys.
I'm fully informed. It feels to me like they're going to be significant. I hope not. It doesn't feel to me like it's DLC. You know, like The Witcher didn't get rated 18 because it had, 2 DLCs will be coming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Forspoken. Things are looking dicey. I've had a very linear downslope for hype for this game.
Yes.
I started pretty high, then Amy Hennig, and I'm getting, up. We see the gameplay, and I'm like, okay, I'd like to know the story, but the gameplay looks slick, it looks fun, and then second gameplay, and there's no story, and then it's just constantly sapping my excitement for the game, and now I'm genuinely worried.
Yeah.
Worried in the sense that this could have been a game. We're in a bit of a gaming glut, in the sense that, like, don't get me wrong, we've had some bangers, right? A lot of people like Elden Ring, people with shit taste. Horizon. There's been good games, but like, there was a big gap between them.
They were all front-loaded, and now we've got this big gap of unknown. We don't know what the next game is.
Right, and I was hoping that Forspoken would be that nice buffer between then and, like, Requiem. Not Requiem, freaking Plague Tale Requiem. No, because Ragnarok we have no date on, but we know when Requiem... Is it Requiem? Plague Tale Requiem?
I think it's Requiem, yeah.
Like, something to buffer things so we get a nice step of games up till 2024 when Ragnarok comes out.
Yeah.
And I'm just consistently worried. Everything we hear about it, I'm worried.
I don't hear... I think there's an unspoken sort of worriedness as well amongst the community, because I'm quite tapped in on like Twitter and things like that, and people mention Forspoken sometimes, but they don't overhype it. I think people are cautious about it. They're like,
at least there is that, right? This isn't a Starfield where everybody thinks it's going to be, or a Cyberpunk, right? So Cyberpunk's a better example because it came out, we know it flopped.
Yeah.
Starfield feels to have a very similar run-up.
It does, right? It does. It has that same feeling of everyone just blindly accepting it's going to be amazing.
I will say, I feel like Cyberpunk had more of a legitimate excitement around it.
Right.
We don't know anything about Starfield. So I really... I'm not trying... It could be amazing. I hope it's amazing. It could be the best sci-fi game ever made. That would be incredible. But the hype for it right now is not justified. The hype for Cyberpunk was because we'd seen The Witcher, we'd seen a bunch of CG things. By this point, we'd had gameplay trailers and
deceptive gameplay trailers, but we had
them that we were lied to, but we'd seen them. There were things for people to be excited about. We'd had umpteen different showings of like different specs and sort of the world that's around, and loads of people talking about this stuff, and we haven't had any of that for Starfield, so I don't feel that it's appropriately hyped. But that is actually a good point. Forspoken, people seem to be cautious of. I'm interested in it, but I'm cautious. Everybody... I would like this to be the opposite of Cyberpunk, where we hear these things, and it's just, our stuff was blown out of proportion, or we age-rated it to be safe, and it turns out this is a banger. Amy Hennig tends to produce high quality stuff and story, so I'm going to go on trust and say the story's probably at least okay. I'm not going to put it all on her because we trusted Cyberpunk and CDPR and that flopped. So story's at least okay. It seems like an interesting concept. Anyway, I was a little bit worried it was another L for the suddenly very long list of L's for Forspoken.
Yeah.
When's that coming?
I think it recently got delayed to like late 2022. Check it out. I think.
Yeah. Later, October 11th, this says. But I feel like that was before the delay, wasn't it? I don't know, man. Late 22.
Spoken delay.
Also, it's 24-month exclusive. So
Delayed by almost 5 months. October 11th.
yeah, cool. So I thought, well, oh, that was what it got delayed to. For some
Yeah, it
reason I
was
thought that
May 25th,
yeah.
so we would have had it by now.
That's right.
It got delayed. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a 24-month PlayStation exclusive. 2 years only on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
That sounds to me like the execs at PlayStation have looked at it and gone, this is really good. We really want this.
Yeah.
We want it for a good long time. And then in 2 years, yeah, it can go to Xbox and we'll make more money on it. But for those first 2 years, it's got to be with us because we like what we're seeing.
Yeah.
So it seems good because 24 months is a long time. 2
Yeah.
years, there's a long exclusive. You would expect it to bang because otherwise you've paid for that exclusivity and someone's got to be looking at it going, there's no way anybody wants to play this in 2 years, right? Like Horizon going to Xbox, that's a get. The Last of Us, that's a get. Spider-Man, it's a get. God of War, it's a get. Oh, by the way, they should never go there. Frick 'em. But
They don't deserve it.
setting out and saying we want to have this, so you can't go anywhere for 24 months. Someone's got to have looked at it and gone, I like this.
Yeah,
this
that's what
ticks
you think,
all of our
right?
boxes, right?
That's what you think.
And one of those boxes is a banging story,
Yeah,
right?
at least.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows?
So fingers crossed. I mean, that gives me a bit of hope. But are we going to pretend that Sony suits can't make mistakes?
yeah. It's not like they're infallible, right? We just spoke. They almost made a really dumb mistake with PlayStation Plus.
But then their PR team said, no, don't release an apology, just change it.
Just change it. There you go. That's because
Right.
they did it on purpose, guys.
Right. Tony did it on purpose. We've heard you.
We hear
We're
you.
sorry.
Okay to move on to our next topic?
Yeah. I just wanted to get that out of the way because it was one more thing that was recent.
That's cool. Our next topic. Jim Ryan says that PlayStation have 2 unannounced live service games coming this fiscal year.
Okay. That means until April next year, by the way.
And he quotes, Destiny is not included. So this was a part of they did a like an investor call, and they talked about how the state of PlayStation is, things that are coming up, etc., and what their projections are, things like that. And in the live service first-party monetization portfolio diversity slide,
Nice and easy to,
nice easy mouthful.
I don't
there.
get why they do that.
Exactly. He talks about all of the they show off all of the current games that are coming out, single-player games catalog, and he says live service games. And it says it per year, like what live service games there are. Financial year 2021, it says 1 live service game.
Yeah.
It says financial year 2022, 3.
Right.
And the only live service game that they list next to it is MLB The Show, because there is a live service portion of it.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's the other 2?
Yeah, I feel like we would have heard about projects in the works.
Well, we do know that apparently Naughty Dog is working on a multiplayer game.
Is that supposed to be the Last of Us stuff, though?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. And that could be one of them as well, because that counts as a live service.
So factions, basically, yeah.
Another one, Gorilla's apparently working on one. I think London Studios working on a fantasy-based one as well.
Yeah.
But we don't know anything about them. And apparently they're launching this financial year, which is kind of incredible to think about, that pretty soon we're going to see the reveal, hopefully around about like Summer Games Fest time.
Yeah.
PlayStation might do their own like show or whatnot. Hopefully we'll finally get to see the God of War release date.
Yeah, keep wishing.
But that's the idea at the moment.
Let me ask you.
How do you feel about that? You want to ask me something? Go on.
Yeah, so this is sort of my feelings in the question. One of two things. Seems to be that the options, from what I can tell, are either these are not new projects, because I feel like we would have heard about a new project. So there's something getting attached to a current thing, right? So like The Last of Us Factions, as an example. Or mobile games.
I was thinking something like that perhaps as well.
Cool. Okay, we're on the same page.
I do think that Last of Us Factions is one of them. I do think that, because I've heard that it's coming.
Why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, apparently they've been working on it forever.
They have been, yeah.
Since they came out, they said, we have grand ambition for it, we want it to be the best, and then we just never heard any more of it. And there is a rumour
Watch
that
it do it in RDR online.
If it's supported, it might be good, you know. And apparently the rumor is that it's going to be attached to the Last of Us remake that's going to be coming out this year. So that accounts for one of them. And then there's one left. And they have mentioned, even in these slides, they're mentioning how they're going to up their mobile game portfolio. So watch it be like a mobile game, and we're just getting excited.
Oh, it
for
will
nothing.
be.
But if it is something live service, while I've said many times I'm not a live service guy outside of maybe Destiny, I'm still open to seeing what the hell comes out of it, because it's while it's happened badly before, Bethesda, a company that's known for great stories and producing great single player games, taking a dip at multiplayer games and live service games could bring us that perfect game that we want. That is a blend between a good story and a live service.
It takes people to try things and also be willing to benefit. I just sent you something which is Nightmare Fuel, which you can check out. It's not really gaming related, but it's somewhat interesting. We might want to talk about. Just because I've seen it just now, it's very funny.
Ah! Fuck.
Epic, I think, is a really good example of this with Fortnite. And I always bring up Fortnite because it is so successful, but it does a few things right. One, it pivoted early on.
Yeah.
Two, it changes things constantly. So every season, they change the map a bit so it keeps things fresh. They take some weapons out, they put new weapons in, they put old weapons in, take new weapons out, all sorts of stuff. And they do microtransactions properly. And that hadn't really been done properly until a company that was willing to try it tried it. So I agree with you that giving someone the free reign to try this thing out could work really well. And now that especially Destiny is on board,
yeah,
and the guys over at Bungie, I should say, can there might be some really fundamental questions about live service games or mobile games or whatever that these guys have, that they just, because they have no data on it, and they go, would this work? And then the guys at Bungie can go, we thought the exact same thing, that's why we did this stuff, and actually our metrics show that's a bad idea, or it was for our kind of game. Different kind of game might have done better, but for this sort of thing, for what your project is, probably not ideal. Yeah. So I want to be hopeful.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think we're going to get Last of Us Factions, and it's going to be mobile. And I don't want to play as not Ellie and not Joel, on my phone. I don't want to be doing that. But that is what I feel like is coming.
Yeah. Oh god. Anyway, well, we'll see what that's all about, and hopefully you guys can join us for whatever announcements and shows they do over on twitch.tv/Conbrosations.
Yeah.
Right there. But
do you want to talk about that? Just because it's what I sent you.
Yeah, go on. Let's see, because people are going to wonder what it is.
Winnie the Pooh recently entered public domain, which means he's free use. You can use Winnie the Pooh. And somebody, since that's happened, has made a horror movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and it is terrifying.
That is terrifying right there.
That is nightmare fuel. That is not my Winnie the Pooh. And Piglet, oh my god, look at that.
I haven't seen Piglet, I just looked at that picture.
Oh, if you go to the tweet, there's one with Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, then there's one of a muscle car, but also there's some talent.
Yes, she...
Suddenly I'm interested in this movie.
I'm interested in the movie now.
She looks very talented.
Yes. Yes.
But that's terrifying. And I'm not a horror guy, but I kind of want to know. I kind of want to see this.
Oh, this is fucking okay.
Do you want to put timestamp it? Let's put
I'll put it up
Winnie
my
the Pooh
already.
Yeah, cool.
Get that. You
that
guys
is
are going to see the nightmare.
Terrifying. I'm going to retweet it, but yeah. Cool. Anyway, totally aside, not gaming related at all.
No. Let me have a look at what else we have to discuss.
There was one other topic, wasn't there? I thought there was a big. No, that was it, wasn't it? Yeah. Cool. Have we got any comments over on?
Oh, hold on.
Never mind.
So.
Holding on, still holding.
Shall we talk about that one? Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, so another PlayStation thing. PlayStation are apparently developing their own PC launcher.
Okay.
Which means two things. One, PlayStation are going to have their own PC launcher, so PC players are going to get very angry that they have another button to click.
Good. Hate them anyway.
I hate them anyway. They're not real gamers.
Get free.
Anyway.
They're not gamers.
But also, that likely means that PlayStation are going even harder with PC ports of their games.
Yeah.
They did post in that portfolio session of talking about how the company's going. They did post a picture of the 3 games that they have got on PC and their performance of it so far. And I don't know if it's good. They're saying it like it's good, and they've got like numbers going up, but I don't know how to interpret it. So they say God of War, since it released, has got just under 1 million sales since January.
Okay.
Days Gone has got 800,000 since it released, which was May last year, and Horizon has sold 2.3 million since it released 2 years ago. And I'm like,
that sounds good.
Good.
One of the things that
Bad?
I want to know.
I don't know.
I want to, because this matters to me, but it wouldn't matter to a business, because once you're sold, you're sold. How many people have played it? How many people have completed it? What's their ranking of the game? Like, I wonder if it's changed Metacritic scores. That's the stuff I would be interested in. See if it's viable to do, because in my opinion, frick the PC gamers.
Frick 'em all.
Frick them.
Zach Shears, a PC gamer, and he comes to
Frick
me
him.
and it's like, it's happening, and I'm like, no, stay away from my games.
Right.
Stay away,
Also-
you filthy PC peasant.
I also do, and I genuinely mean this, think that most of these games, if not all of them,
Hooky you as well, you filthy
you
people.
freaking fake gamer, should not allow you to use mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, you guys need to up your game. You can't be playing mouse and keyboard.
Imagine
on
mouse and
good
keyboard
games.
for Horizon or for God of War, something with an actually good story, something these fake gamers have never experienced before, and they're going to play God of War, click, 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 with a mechanical click, 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 click.
My God, could you imagine a worse thing?
And also, no feedback for the Leviathan axe.
Right?
Just click a button. Just audio cues.
There's no like with the triggers, you get like multiple different ways. You can pull back slightly. You can
Like
pull back
pulling a
lot.
bow.
Like pulling a bow, and you can feel the tension with a mechanical keyboard. What are you gonna feel? Clack.
Yeah, idiots.
With a mouse.
Stupid. Yeah, ridiculous, isn't it? So, and I'm not joking.
But they do have RGB.
Wow. So does the DS5 though.
Exactly. We have RGB on our controllers.
Get fricked. I'm not joking though. You shouldn't be allowed to play God of War without a controller.
Yeah, you should be.
That was a very dapper way to put your glasses on.
That's actually the.
That was very like.
That's right, bitch.
Yeah, that was very. You need to make that a thing now.
I need to. What I need to do is I need to make them sunglasses.
Right.
And then just be like.
And then play that CSI thing. Yeah!
Yeah.
So yeah, get for it. You shouldn't be able to play it to begin with, and you certainly should be able to play it on a keyboard.
Yeah.
Keyboard. There's no keys. If you hit a heartless with it, soulless.
Press E to continue. What's E, bruv?
Where's the any button? Press any button. Where's the any button?
Where's the any button? Oh, where is it?
So it's shit.
I use my computer for the things it's meant for. Taxes. Okay.
That's right. Minesweeper, Minecraft,
Exactly.
Fake games, not real games.
So that a PC launcher's coming. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing as well. Here's something that bugs me. PC gamers pay half price. Why?
At least for the PlayStation ones, you could be like, well, they came out years ago. Okay, I get that.
But like new release.
But new releases, they're like, oh, $20 off straight away.
But also, if I'm getting it digitally off the PSN.
It's because otherwise they'll just pirate it. That's what it is. They've got the publishers in a stronghold, an arm lock, where they're like, either give it to us or we'll just pirate it.
Two things. One,
They're gonna get angry at that.
I mean, you're not wrong, and also, I mean, imagine pirating stuff.
Oh, terrible.
Imagine.
Terrible.
Oh, God. But also, no joke, if I was a game dev, and I knew people would do that, I would take out all the satisfying stuff from the game if it was pirated. So, like, you know, the Leviathan axe, I just take out all the nice audio for
It
it.
just appears in your hand. That's it.
Yeah. You know?
That would be such a. Do you know what would be really funny? That would be a cool way to out people.
Or
Because they will go on Twitter and they'll be like, the fucking axe is awful. It's
Right.
shit. It just appears in your hand. That's actually an intentional thing we put in for people when they pirate
Right.
the game. When there's an error in the authentication process.
shit. Or like, you know, like if a dragon breathes fire, right? It's just a grey bubble and it says VFX.
You
know, like
VFX not put in.
Yeah, VFX. Like, you know, with that, when you see like behind the scenes stuff for like Marvel movies,
Yeah.
so it's like, obviously this is for VFX. It tells them where stuff goes.
Yeah.
Just that. You know, you can play the game.
Get
You won't
them.
enjoy it, but you can play it.
I do have one more topic that I actually did want to talk about, if it's okay to bring it up.
Yeah,
okay?
of course.
I know we're getting a bit long in the tooth here. But a conference by TCL Technology, which is just like a technology company that supplies parts and stuff like that for
Yeah.
like consoles and things like that. They did a slideshow, I guess, in the whatever to some investors and things like that, and they were talking about the production of generations and things, and they put down all the generations from 2013 all the way up to the present and into the future. They put Gen 8, the Xbox One and PS4, Gen 8.5, the PS4 Pro and Xbox Series, Xbox One X, and then they put Gen 9, our current generation,
Yeah.
PS5, Xbox Series S, and then they put Gen 9.5. And with all of these, they put years on them. So 2020 they put for the last one. And they put 2023/2024
That seems early.
for the PS5 Pro, Xbox Series S, Xbox new. This is new Xbox Series. That's what they say right there. And the only thing that they put underneath them is just like what they potentially can hit in terms of performance. And it pretty much says 4K and 8K, 120 FPS, stuff like that. Granted, this is just for investors, and obviously you say things that are high hopes so you can get as many people to come in. But what do you think about the idea about 2023, potentially 2024, getting a PS5 Pro and Xbox Series Pros?
Xbox Series is at least for the PlayStation,
Yeah.
24 feels much more reasonable for me, because the PS5 does not feel like it's lacking at all.
Yeah. Oh, I said this
And it's
last
far
week as well.
outperforming
we
the
were
Xbox
speaking.
Series X as well, so that's...
Exactly. I said this in my tweet. I said this last week. I don't feel like we've reached the potential in terms of performance.
Agreed.
I feel like we could survive a bit more, although an upgrade is welcome, but I don't think we need it.
Yeah.
However, if the thing is true where like they're going to go to the smaller nanometer chips and that allows for more computers to be made,
Yeah.
then I might see the benefit of it there, because it's we get more
If
consoles out.
suddenly the supply increases because it's not just PS5s, but it's PS5 Pros being... Frick the Xbox. And regardless of what one it is, you can get hold of a PS5. I'm for it.
Yeah. That's the benefit, really.
Right, and let's say plus an extra 100.
Yeah.
It's like 659 or 649, whatever, for the Pro, and 55, whatever it is. I forget. What's the actual price? I forget. I don't remember, but whatever it is, let's say plus 100, but you can actually get hold of one, and that's still well less than what the scalpers are selling them for. Then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
In terms of like where the console is, we're nowhere near, in my opinion, we're nowhere near maxing out the hardware. And even then, optimization, I think, will improve at a steady pace. So like in the previous generation, we maxed out the hardware almost instantly, and then it was slow steps to optimization.
Yes.
And I feel like this time around, we're going to be doing both. So as they eat into what the hardware can do, they're also going to be optimizing even more for that step. So it won't be like, boom, hardware, we're optimizing, we get there.
Yeah.
Boom, hardware chunk, we're optimizing. It's going to be much more in tow. So I don't think we're going to need one until 25, realistically. I don't, if it doesn't help availability, then I don't really see it coming until, I don't know why you would do it before 24. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I hear you.
However, you had a very good point. If it does help. Also, let me ask you this. Okay, so the first generation, scalpers eat up all the PS5s.
Yeah.
Based on the number of people still struggling to get one, do we think the scalpers have recovered any of their money, really, or if they're just sitting on a bunch of these things?
That's the thing. I wonder what's going on, because I see some shops with some PS5s nowadays, but they go in a matter of days rather than before where it was a matter of seconds.
Yes.
So supply's getting better, but it must just be that those guys have run out of money now, and they're sitting on them, right? Because
that was going to be my question.
I
If they
feel
come
like
out with
people are
PS5
still
Pros, are they
talking.
not just going to scoop them all up again? But
it's always a possibility. I think that's one thing they just can't do anything about, unless... I know PlayStation are doing more, and Xbox are doing this as well, where they're like selling more directly from their own store.
Yeah.
And I guess they can help mitigate that, because it's in their interest to have them go to actual people rather than...
Absolutely, yeah.
Whereas Walmart and fucking Tesco's, they don't give a fuck. They just get
they
the
don't
money.
care. But Sony needs it. Yeah, they do need it, because if they say, look, we've got 100 million units out there and we only ever get 4 million downloads of this game, that's a huge example, exaggeration, obviously, but like, it's bad for all sorts of things. It looks bad on the investor calls. It gives them no idea of their actual metrics, like which they need to manage a business. So there's like, it does matter to them. They really do want them in the hands of actual users. Yeah.
Let's kick it over to our boys over on patreon.com/conbrosations, who you can be one of those great people if you support us over there. Just any of the tiers, you can write in and get priority comments read out right here. Gams True Gamer Master.
Get it right.
He wrote in and he says, "Good day, bros. Honestly, don't know too much about the Microsoft turning down Marvel games and making KOTOR exclusive, but holy shit, they just can't seem to make any smart business decisions, can they? Keen to hear your excellent analysis as always, lads." As what? Motherfucker, as always. Bastard.
How dare you?
Go back into the comment and edit it and say like usual. That's what you
Yeah, so that we don't have to read that out on our show.
Exactly. Love the new studio, boys. You deserve it. And he goes,
Much love.
in other news, he wants us to talk about it. He goes, the title for the sequel for Jedi Fallen Order seems to have leaked/announced.
Yeah.
It's looking like the title will be Survivor, and Cal Kestis is the main protagonist. I'm super interested to see where they go with him and the crew of the Mantis, and what new adventure they will embark on. I'm excited for it now as well, because we don't have the things that made the first one seem dumb, which was the forgetting your abilities type thing.
Right.
So now he's all
I
like
hated
it.
that, yeah.
It should be good. It should be good now. We should be able to get things going.
I don't care about any of them.
No, really.
I really don't care about Cal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't,
Ginger. I mean,
exactly. No soul. How's he even use the Force? That's the thing.
Exactly.
Someone's stolen soul, isn't it?
Where's his midichlorians if it's not in his soul?
Exactly. No one's asking these questions. I don't care about anyone on the Mantis either. Yeah. I don't care about that chick whose name I forget that used to be a Jedi, but like now she's not. How does that make any sense?
Yeah.
That's dumb. The pilot guy's okay, but we never really learned enough about him for me to be engaged. I do like the witch from Dathomir.
Yeah.
She I'm interested in. I'm interested in her.
Yeah. I'm interested in.
I know
she
words.
Is someone I'm interested in.
So if we split the game between her and Cal a bit more, and maybe work on, I know I missed the dating simulator here, but like do a romance or something, right? Let me clap some alien cheeks. That I could see working and being much more compelling. But I actually only really care about the witch.
Yeah.
She's the only one that I found interesting. Cal's only interesting because I get to be a space wizard with a laser sword. Right, and I'll take anything I can get to fill that void.
There is a void inside me, just perfectly fits.
Right.
Space wizard laser sword.
Exactly. So, also, would be curious about what cameo they'll do, because I presume that'll be in there, right? You've got this thing. It's in between. Vader's at his height. Gotta have some cameos.
Next
If we
one's
go
gonna
to
be Obi-
Tatooine, I'm out.
Next, well, we have to go because that's where we see Obi-Wan. That's where we're gonna go. I'm telling you now. It's
And that's
Obi-Wan.
what they should have done with the Marvel games at Xbox. They know that Kenobi's going to be successful. They know there's going to be other Star Wars stuff. They're going to lead into something, right? Right? Surely.
Surely.
So there'll be something Kenobi-esque in there, would be my guess, yeah.
Hopefully. He also writes, he says, there's also new information finally released by Fnatic, who are making The Day Before. Do you remember The Day Before got announced such a long time ago? It's an open world survival post-apocalyptic sort of like...
It rings a bell.
We've seen the video before. It looks really, really cool, but they announced it forever ago.
Yeah, ages ago.
And I think the initial, it says release March 1st, 2023, apparently. So we'll see. That's not next year now. He actually says it here. They announced since Unreal Engine 5 is now available, they'll be moving the game over to the new engine, so that's causing the delay. With a new release date of March 21st, 2023, this has led to many to believe that the game, that they have realized whatever game has been ready for June is not all like what was shown in the gameplay trailers. Apparently this game is one of the top wish-listed games on Steam, and this might have prompted them to have a huge delay into next year. I think that's probably wise of them, because
I agree.
I don't think they were... I've not heard of Fnatic. I don't know if they've done anything before. But when they had this much hype behind them, I bet they felt the pressure. They were like...
Yeah, they release some stuff and then they go, yeah, we think we'll get a good response. Wait, how many? They got how many retweets? You know, shit like that. And they're, oh, maybe we better do something here. Right.
Kind of makes me think of that Quantum Error game.
Yeah, I know the one.
Those guys seem so passionate. I hope it works out for them. And he goes, finally, will you boys be playing The Quarry at all? It's the teen horror game. We've spoken about Quarry before, haven't we?
We have spoken about it.
It's a teen horror game following the same Until Dawn, same style as Until Dawn, but with Friday the 13th summer style camp setting. I am absolutely frothing, this one, boys. And it's out in June. Oh, it's fucking soon.
That's
then.
pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah, we're nearly in June ourselves. Hope you guys managed to get a look in it with your busy schedules. I hope I can look into it too.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be
it's
really cool.
like teen horror in it. And I'm already out at horror generally, and then teen, too old for me. Joking.
I think it's like teen is pushing it. Even.
Right.
I don't know why, but I've got this vibe in my head that would be a good game to play co-op.
Yes.
Just us making fun of every trope that comes along, and just like, so she's gonna die.
The thing is,
she's gonna die. Oh, the black guy's dead.
Will it be actually like PT horror or like comedic horror? Because if it's like The Cabin in the Woods, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. If it's PT, unless I have like a catheter, you know, like I don't want to, you know.
In that case, I'm down for it just to see you pee yourself. There you go.
I'm so not about it. I'll fight you over tea bags, but I won't play PT. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just things that I'm not going to do.
No. Thank you very much for writing in there, bro. Thank you very much for everything that you've asked, all your thoughts, right?
Yeah, those are good questions.
Alpha Aquila writes into patreon.com/conbrosations, just like you guys can. And he says, Tyler was right about Xbox turning down the Star Wars deal then, huh? Did Tyler come up with that?
I feel like that rings a bell, actually.
What does Tyler know? Fuck him, man.
I mean, listen, all the blood's rushing to his head. He's bound to say some crazy stuff, and some of it's going to stick, right? It just comes. They can't hold the words in; they just all fall out.
Exactly. Game Pass.
But imagine turning that down.
Yeah.
Like Marvel, maybe. Okay, you could maybe, but Star Wars,
Yeah.
and KOTOR, like in particular.
Yeah.
What? Like we said, safest jobs going, isn't it?
Safest jobs. You want to work for someone and guarantee your employment? Xbox.
Right.
So he goes on to a big comment here, but it's actually based on something that I didn't mention, and
Okay.
I'm gonna bring it up here. So let me just. I had it in a window. Come on. Oh no, where did I put it now? I bet you fucked it up. Oh, no, here it is. Okay. So, a couple of days ago, a bunch of influencers, ones that were previously really waving the flag for Xbox Game Pass and saying how it's the best value in gaming, how it's the greatest thing, literally like in January, suddenly have turned around and said, I'm unsubscribing from Game Pass because it's not... I just don't find anything interesting on there right now. It's like, I've played a bunch of games, and these delays that have happened mean that I'm not going to get anything really new that I'm looking forward to in a while. So I'm unsubscribing until maybe Starfield comes around next year, whenever it's going to come around.
There's been a lot of articles about people having Game Pass burnout, they've been calling it. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's what he's referencing here. So Kotaku put out an article listing those people, like prominent people who are always banging on about Game Pass, saying they're going to go for it. And the title of the article is, After Years of Hype, the Xbox Game Pass Burnout is Here. Now,
I feel like that title's slightly misleading because what it doesn't say is like unrealized hype.
Exactly. Now, the idea of the whole article is that Xbox are delaying their first-party games, and the core part of Game Pass, even when we compare it to PlayStation Plus, is those day one first-party games. I'm going to put a thing here because we're talking about it anyway. Those day one first-party games. That's what makes the Game Pass so alluring. Yeah. There's other great stuff, but that's really the thing that you go for. And that's the promise that Xbox made.
Talking about Xbox, how did they respond?
So they responded, and this is the official Xbox Game Pass Twitter account, responded to that article saying, tell me you limit yourself to only AAA games without telling me you limit yourself to only AAA games. And
the nerve,
the barefaced cheek of Xbox to say that. Now, I understand what the overall point is here. There are other games out there. Indie games produce some great stuff. There are other there are other third-party studios out there.
Yeah, although they make AAAs, but yeah.
This is the funny thing. So he says AAA games, but it's not the AAA games is the reason why people are burning out. They're burning out because first-party games aren't coming out. And you promised that you would put...
Of any quality.
Exactly. You argued... So you promised that you would put AAA first-party games on the service, and that's the reason why people are going away. You coming out with this statement is like saying, hey guys, just because we're not providing you with the stuff we promised, you should be playing other stuff. You should continue to subscribe to us, even though we haven't done our part of the deal. You should be playing these games. You're the problem here. You're not playing indie games.
Acting like, oh, tell me you only play AAA titles. You limit yourself. One, you're not bringing out any level of titles. A, double A, triple A, single B.
You're like, oh, there's
triple C. Nothing.
There's a little title we're bringing out, but it's first party. At least you'd have a leg to stand on.
And that is really it. It's not just the lack of exclusives, the lack of AAAs on there. Although, yes, AAAs are like are you stupid?
That's the thing. There are people that love indies, but there are also people that love AAAs.
There's a reason AAAs exist.
Right.
And they're your big draws. Do you know the business you're in, you freaking idiots? But also, like I said, there's nothing to play on Xbox. There's nothing that I can only play by being here. And just remind me, Ed, isn't one of their big saving graces that Fable's coming? Aren't they literally banking now on Fable and potentially the Fable, Starfield, and potentially the idea that maybe Elder Scrolls will be like exclusive or timed exclusive or something. I wonder.
This is the funny thing because they mention all the... When it comes to like E3, when it comes to their big announcements, their big showcases, they mention all of these big AAA games.
Coming soon.
Right? Exclusive to Xbox, world premiere, day one on Game Pass. But then you turn around and be like, well, now that we don't have them, now they don't matter. Now they don't matter because now we don't have them.
Isn't it?
Right? It's the hypocrisy that people can't stand. You open up your chest and push it out like that when you've got something possibly coming. But then when it goes dry, it's all your fault, guys. It's all your fault that this is
That's
all
the thing.
wrong.
So, like, I think a lot of people...
And that's the bit that people like.
The Xbox look at this and go, oh, look at the Twitter guys memeing, right? This isn't like the Wendy's thing, right? This has taken no stock of what is the temperature of the room before it sent the tweet, it's specifically like insulting and like backhanded.
Yeah.
Like it's not in fun, in all good and fun.
Yeah.
It's not in that kind of nature.
No.
And it just smacks of like defensiveness. It's like the when a teacher tells off a kid, no talking. He was talking too. Like, no one cares.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the point I brought up to Alpha.
Yeah.
Alpha. I hope I can find my. If I go to quote tweets, will it actually give me my? Will it give me first?
Elon fix that as well, bruv.
What was that?
I was saying Elon fix that.
Oh yeah,
as well.
Elon, please do that, please. Let me see if I can go to my page quickly, because I think he wrote something very genuinely like meaningful, and then I wrote something that perfectly summed it up afterwards.
Yeah.
So I'm nearly there. Yeah. Okay. So here it is. Okay. So here's the tweet. I wrote down as like, it's really sad that instead of serving customers with AAA games that you promised, you resort to downplaying the need for big budget games and tell people what they should enjoy.
Yep.
If and I put like, if AAA games aren't important, then why are you spending a country's GDP on buying studios to have them?
Facts.
Right? And Alpha wrote down, he says, Kotaku is acting like there aren't non-AAA games being added to the service in Game Pass and calling them out for it. And by saying that Game Pass isn't just, and Game Pass is just saying that it isn't just AAA games. And I was like, yeah, but mocking others for criticizing you when you have failed to failed your customers in key areas
on promises you made,
exactly, is incredibly distasteful. I said to him, because it is. Listen, you're mocking your own customer base for wanting the thing that you promised.
We're going to bring you this product. You stuck with us for years, even though it's free.
Exactly.
And now that we haven't delivered, you're taking a break. Okay.
Exactly. And Alpha goes, yeah, I guess it could have been worded better. Like, hey, we might not have the AAA titles releasing soon, but check out other games. And I was like, you aren't even a PR guy, and you came out with something better to say.
Well, it's because he cares.
And that's exactly.
He actually cares. He's interested
respectful.
He's interested in people enjoying good games, in shedding light on things that people would easily overlook.
Right? What if you said, it was like, hey, have you checked out this really cool game? We personally really like it, and shows that people like stuff like that.
Do you know what would be cool?
No, turn around and be like, you're the problem, guys, because you want to play big budget games that we promised.
Do you know what would be cool? Some freaking humanity over at Xbox. If the guy had come out and gone, yo, there's a bunch of indie games. I'm not supposed to, but one of my favorites, this is me, like John, the Twitter guy.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is X. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Check out the team at whatever. They do some incredible stuff. Check it out. There'd be some humanity. Yeah. Break the rules a little bit, not bend them,
Yeah.
Like, instead, just beefing out everybody that, oh, you didn't like Halo Infinite, oh, we spent $500 million and you don't want to play because you don't have a battle royale, you suck. No, you suck, and your game sucks. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm the problem. Halo Infinite's the problem.
It's just so... I just couldn't. And worst part is all of the people that came out to defend Xbox just blindly. I'm like, come on, man. It's just not.
Having no exclusives on Game Pass is actually a good thing.
Right.
Because it means it preserves the. I can't even make it up. I have more than 2 brain cells.
That was just that really rubbed me the wrong way. Anyway, he says Game Pass is a service like any TV, television, or movie service. People will buy it temporarily for shows, games that are interesting, and then get rid of it after experiencing those shows or games. That's the standard consumer behavior. The news isn't a big deal. However, he says, the difference here comes from Game Pass promising, or at least aiming to, keep a steady rate of releasing first-party exclusives. Just to clarify, I call those games AAA. Though there are, of course, non-first-party AAA games added to the service. Those who get the service solely for AAA games are only the people that will be really unhappy with Xbox not delivering on their promise of a steady rate, even though they would still be happy. People who get Game Pass for AAA games and all the other titles are even those who get Game Pass just for non-AAA games, because they still have new games coming. Of course, it's worth considering how big a portion of the service's user base get Game Pass for AAA games only. And that that most journalists will play the games as soon as they release, in some cases even earlier, so that they can review them. So there is an inherent trend that journalists are in the first camp of getting Game Pass for first-party exclusive games. Was the PR handled poorly though through the Kotaku tweet? Yeah, it's a big gap for the first-party exclusives being released a failure. Also, yeah, he says. I feel like Alpha's so fair right there. There are people that buy it for this. There are people that... I think it's a bit more skewed towards the first-party AAAs than you are making out to be.
Yeah, I think you're trying to... You make it out like there's this group, and then there's this group and this group, and that makes up the whole thing. Yeah. And actually, the group is much larger. And the reason I would say that... By the way, I love your comments. Yeah. And this is why I like our community, because people actually think about the landscape. And I love that that's part of our culture. And for example, earlier I said, let's go back to if it was 2014 and you didn't know how much of an L the Xbox was, right? Is this reasonable? And we're still trying to, like, devil's advocate, right? Yeah. People really thinking about this stuff. The reason I would say that I think it's more skewed than the way you make it sound is their numbers. Now, we don't actually know how much any of these people pay, if they paid anything, but they're losing people, and it's not growing. And I think that's because people get it and they try it for free or for very cheap for a short period of time. And for that short period of time, it's worth it at that reduced price point. But until something else comes out, they're not interested. And what's going to get people's attention is going to be the AAA titles. Yeah. And so that's why the majority of the... there is a larger portion of people on Game Pass, I think, that are only interested in really big titles. And in between that, they got other stuff that they maybe would have checked out, but they wouldn't have bought.
Yeah.
But they're really there for the big titles day one.
That's the big thing. I mean, that's why so many people, in every conversation, and I think it's fair to a certain extent, where they say, like, PlayStation Plus isn't a Game Pass competitor.
I agree.
And they always bring up the
Thank
main
God,
point.
But
it's
I agree,
like, it's like the day one games are the difference, and that what makes a Game Pass really good.
It's very alluring.
Day one first party exclusives, day one. And then when it finally happens where the day one games aren't coming, and then we criticize them for that, they turn it on us.
Well, technically, they still manage their promise. Day one, first party exclusives. They just don't bring any out. But when it comes, they do,
it'll be there.
If they do, Fable guys, day one.
Yeah, 2028.
Halo Infinite,
20.
Day one.
And it doesn't matter if the quality of it's subpar. It's still day one.
We still fulfilled our promise.
Exactly, and that's the thing, and that's what gets me. Like, we say it all the time. Hypocrisy is something that really, really rubs us the wrong way. This kind of like backhandedness when you're the one at fault, when you have made the mistake, when you've made the failure, can't sit with it. Can't sit with me.
It's just, it's more Xbox L's, isn't it? It feels like we're Johnny Depp and they're Amber Heard. You know what I mean? Like every single time they say anything or open their mouth, it's either proved wrong or it comes out awfully. Like it's just not right.
Yeah.
And belittling people for the kind of games that they like. When that's your customer base. Yeah. Like imagine owning a restaurant and people come in and order the steak. Oh, of course you'd order this. You wouldn't eat here. You wouldn't eat the starters if.
It's like the steak. You want a main meal?
You know we have other drinks other than Coke, right?
It's like
try one of these indie wheatgrass smoothies for once.
Why don't you get a side salad and be good with that?
Yeah, because I want a steak and chips. I want a steak.
So dumb.
Typical.
So dumb.
Yeah, it's just it's why?
Yeah.
And also, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with people that only play AAA titles. Heaven forbid they should be busy and want to have whatever time they can spare to allocate to a game that is likely to be incredibly impressive and deliver in every way, like a Horizon or God of War or any other number of AAA titles that they can trust that when they can spare 2 hours, because they can only spare 2 hours, because the kid's finally asleep and they don't have work until late tomorrow morning, they can be up between 10 and 2 in the morning to get a few hours of gameplay in that they can trust that the game's going to deliver. Why wouldn't you do that? What are you smoking? Safe jobs.
Because honestly, someone should have been fired over that tweet.
I genuinely, if that was my if you run my Twitter account, you're my PR guy. You're my voice. You are out of there.
Yep.
That job is gone. But safe jobs, bro.
Safe jobs.
Safe jobs. Oh my god. I think that's everything, isn't it?
Yeah, that's everything we're talking about. Let's go back to the guys over in the Discord server who've written in. We've read parts of comments, so it's going to be a minefield now to go through. Papa Nihil.
It's
Nihil?
Cobra.
Yeah, Cobra. So what's Papa
I don't know
Nihil?
who Nihil is, but...
Okay. Anyway, PlayStation Plus Platinum? I think it means premium, but anyway. Seems like...
if it was called Platinum, you'd buy it every single time.
I need every Platinum I can get. Seems the same as Game Pass, so it makes sense they'd charge extra for it. Although they already had PlayStation Now. Great that they've being sold separately, though. Little trip down memory lane will be good until we see how shit the games used to be. That's a good point right there. And Diogo brings up a good point as well. He goes, thoughts on PlayStation 1 games being PAL versions, aka 25 frames per second instead of 30 frames per second. This is what's going to happen. All you guys have the fond memories of old games.
Some of them hold up, though.
And
I'm
you're gonna
telling
be
you,
like,
I won't care. For Simpsons, I won't care.
Yeah.
But I do think people... I went back, I always talk about Soul Reaver. I found someone on Twitch while I was bored one day, and he was playing Soul Reaver 1. It's not how it looks. It's not how it looks in my head.
I also want to wait, by the way, Diogo, because it's only available in Asia at the moment.
At the minute, yeah.
So I don't... With the whole 25 frames and PAL version and stuff like that, let's wait until the game comes out.
This is why we've always... Sorry, did I cut...
No, so wait until the service comes to the West, and we'll see once it's out here, because it could be their different versions for different regions. It's the deluxe version they have over there, not the premium version, so there is already a difference, so we'll see what happens with that. Yeah.
On those old school games, our mate Harry, who loves those old retro games, he plays them retro.
Yeah.
He has the old CRTV stuff. It's all as it was at the time. And so for that reason, I think it never matters to him, because the point is that it's the old school games. This, I do think there'll be that. You're playing it on this 2020 piece of tech, and it's from 1996.
It just looks so weird.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So, Camille Vasquez, I think that's Multiverse of Madness.
I think so, yeah.
But it's Camille Vasquez, my mum, Jack, I think this is. Yeah. What's the point of a PS Plus tier system if you're not going to have to pay more to get better stuff?
I mean,
fair question.
Understand that it's a business, and more stuff you need to pay more. But this was the original tweet. The original topic was bullshit. Like paying more for your discount that you had.
Oh yeah.
Was bad. So
yeah, different tiers, yes. But if you're getting a discount and then making you not get the discount and meet the extra,
could you imagine how if that was a real thing and they tried to spin it? How could you spin that?
We'd spend weeks tearing them apart. This would be our. This is how you share games on Xbox.
Yeah, you fucking nut jobs.
I think that's everybody. Sorry, boys, we're just checking because we read half of people's questions.
Yeah. Black Screen Bro 2 says, did Activision literally lose the rights to Spider-Man games in 2015-16 maybe?
That's when it was set to expire, wasn't it?
Yeah, they gave it up. I think it was 2014 they gave it up.
They gave it up in 2014, but I think we mentioned it. They got out of it. That contract was ended early in a mutually beneficial way, I think it was the thing. But it was set to expire in 2016, but they had it. Yeah.
And he also says, how do game journalists know what Xbox has in mind for Game Pass this year? Laumo just shows that they were relying on Starfield releasing this year and actually being the best game. Well, that's all they risked all their hopes
also,
on.
because half these game journos are on the payroll, their staff, that's how they know what the plans are.
Yeah.
At least it feels that way. I think...
Oh, actually, do you want to hear something funny? So... This is a conspiracy theory, and I don't know how much
about it. Just lay it out like it's a fact.
I knew you'd love it. So the FTC posted announced that they are going to be looking into influencers and media journalists based on fake reviews and impressions and stuff like that.
I'm all about it.
Right? And this
is now a fact because I want it to be true.
I was like, I'm cool with it because we don't fucking say anything fake. We say it how it is.
Yeah.
And that same day was the day that it was like a couple hours afterwards where people started to say, I'm unsubscribing from Game Pass, I don't see the
confirmed.
I don't see the value in it. I was like, it's like all these guys got like, oh shit, they're coming after us.
Confirmed.
It's not
Good
really
enough for me.
I don't really like the
Print
service.
it. Put it in the headline.
And I was like, this
All
is
you need to do, what
amazing.
we just write an article. Gaming influencers unsubscribe from Xbox after FTC says it's going to investigate them.
Make it true.
Comma, allegedly.
Make it true. Just make it true. And I
that would be
loved it.
amazing. That's perfect.
It's such perfect.
I want that to be
timing.
true so badly.
Oh god, it was great.
That's great.
Also, there was another fun thing that happened. Have you seen the Xbox ambassador controversy?
No?
There was one Xbox ambassador, and it's a title that you can get from Xbox for
Yeah.
literally doing nothing.
Pretty
you don't
much,
have to
yeah.
do
Yeah,
anything, right? You have to have 2,000 gamer score minimum, and that's it.
That's not hard.
Exactly. I almost was eligible for it, and I've only just started playing on PC
Yeah.
with
It's not hard at all.
Anyway, people had a discussion, and it was a girl. She was a streamer, and she said, "I don't like Xbox because I like to play games. I watch my boyfriend play games, and that's why I like games."
Right.
And people were like, "Hold on a second, you're an Xbox ambassador and you don't play video games? How does that work?" And people flamed her for it,
Yeah.
right? And in response, everyone in the community went and applied for Xbox ambassadorship.
Sick.
So everyone put that in their title, and you just go everywhere. And all these PS guys, PlayStation.
We
guys,
should do it as well.
I know. I love. We have to.
We
Let's
should
do it.
We should. I probably have it. If I can find my old Game Pass, I've definitely got my own 2000.
100%. You could do it, and then you just go on. You're like, I'm an Xbox ambassador now, guys. And what I say.
Speaking in my official capacity as an Xbox ambassador.
It's like becoming like ordained as a minister.
Right.
Like, I can just go on the internet and just fucking do it. Anyway, that was funny.
That's great. Also, I actually want to say I think that's viable. So, games are the best form of entertainment because we get to play them. We get to interact with them.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with enjoying an incredible story as a visual feat.
No. Nothing wrong with that.
So I really I think it's okay for it to say, yeah, I love video games. I just don't play them.
Yeah.
I love experiencing this incredible story, with my boyfriend or whoever it is, my partner, my person playing the game. I get to watch them be happy to defeat the boss. I get to watch this great boss fight. I don't have to have the stress of being it, or I'm not very good or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I have to get good because he does. And then I get to experience the story. It's just a different way of experiencing this incredible story, which, by the way, these games have incredible stories that easily rival the best movies out there and best books. And on top of that, I got to do it myself. But you don't have to. So just because it doesn't fit my bias, because I wanted to beef out an Xbox ambassador, I do think it's viable.
The only part that just gets me is just the fact that then they qualify for an ambassadorship of a game company.
That's a little bit.
It's like finding
further.
out that the head of a game company doesn't play video games.
It's
It's
a
like, so what the fuck are you doing?
It's the
here?
difference between being a movie critic and then being an ambassador for Disney.
Right,
Because
right.
you watch Disney
So
movies.
I don't, I get headaches when I look at screens, so I just don't watch
I
movies.
listen to them often. Like
I've heard that when
my
I'm outside the
boyfriend,
cinema,
my
I
boyfriend
can hear
watches them and then tells me what happened. And I really enjoy the
It's
story.
like, yes, I'm a director.
Right.
So what the fuck is that? That's so dumb. Oh god, that's the only bit. I don't have any problem with the girl.
I'm with
She
you,
can enjoy games however she likes.
I mean, look,
But just don't claim that you're like
it's not her strong suit or her passion. So I'm never letting it go. Never letting it go.
Oh, do you want to read Isak Meni's take on everything that we've spoken
Where is it?
about? It should be just under Tailgate's one.
Tailgate, where are you? I'm lost. This one. Sony charging extra. PlayStation/Sony L. Xbox turning down potential exclusivity deals. Xbox L.
L.
Activision narcissism and ego. Find your unicorn. What the safest jobs out there? Activision L. Game Pass stale. Game Pass L. That's pretty much my thoughts for the entire thing. Got nothing else to add. That was pretty much perfect. We should have just read that. We could have saved 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours and 30 minutes. We didn't need any of that, did we?
Right? I think that's it, man.
Yeah, there's no ultimate. Oh, what's that? Black screen. Mouse and keyboard. Wait, yeah, shut up. Alpha and the mouse and keyboard nonsense.
Freaking mouse and keyboard.
Somebody did ask a question. Okay, so Tailgate asked a question. Here's a non-gaming related question, and I want you guys to answer this as well in the comment section. He goes, "What is your favorite TV show that's so bad it's actually good?" You've mentioned something like this before.
Terra Nova.
That's it.
Terra Nova is awful. Oh, there's another one. Oh God, what's it called? Just think about yours. I'll come back to it.
I know my one, and no one's gonna know it.
Say it.
I watched all seasons of this, even though it was very, very bad. It's called Kyle XY.
I know it, but I haven't seen it yet.
The premise of this is that the longer the baby stays in the womb of the mother, the more intelligent they are.
Okay.
And they're like, Albert
So you got a
Einstein.
7-year-old.
Albert Einstein was in the womb for 11 months. I don't know if this is true
Right.
or not, but that's what they say in the show. Like, and look how smart he was.
Right.
And then they go, okay, so what they did some experiments where they took the baby out of this mother's womb and then put it in like an artificial womb and kept the kid
For like
growing
20 years.
for like
Yeah.
18 years or something like that. And the kid comes out and he's got telekinesis powers and stuff like that. And it's just so dumb. I'm like, this show's
That
so
is
stupid,
terrible.
but I'm here every week.
So I found the name of the other show. If you guys haven't heard me talk about it, Terra Nova, the world's like all used up, typical thing.
Yeah.
And so they figure out time travel and go back in time to the age of the dinosaurs. And the time loop thing, there's only one season, it got cancelled, which is terrible because there's a great hook at the end.
Yeah.
But basically, they sent something back radioactive so that they could find it
Right.
to see if... Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it, which means it's an alternate Earth. So if they go and kill a butterfly, it's not going to
Affect
stop.
their Earth.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay. Awful. Terrible. One of the worst things I've ever seen produced. I loved every minute of it.
I wonder what.
Incredible. You should. It's awful. The other thing is Revolution. That I think got like 2 seasons. And that is this premise where it's like post-apocalyptic. Think The Last of Us. But instead of zombies, just electricity doesn't work.
Okay.
The very first intro is this guy teaching a class. And he's like, so back in like 2012 or whatever, the laws of physics changed. The grid went down and we don't know why. And the thing is, like, if the grid went down, that was a big deal, but we could have got it back up and running. The laws of physics changed.
Right.
We have no idea what happened. And then it goes on to, basically, it's sort of this sort of, there's no technology really, and people are still fighting. And if you have a gun, that's really impressive because most of the bullets are used up. So they've gone to swords and bows. It's terrible. I loved every minute of it.
The premise sounds kind of interesting. Did they
Also,
figure it out? Why
They
is-
do, yeah. They do.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Giancarlo Esposito's in it, and he's an incredible villain. He's so good. He's brilliant. It's one of my favourite roles of his. And the show is awful, but I loved it. Terrible shows. Cannot recommend you watch them. Highly recommended, though. You know, don't spend your time on it, but I recommend it.
Don't spend your time on it, but I recommend you do it.
I loved it. It's terrible, but I loved it.
All right, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are saying in the comments.
Yeah, let's
He
hear.
says, mine is the CW Batwoman show. I love it for all the wrong reasons. Yeah, that looks pretty awful, that show, and I think they cancelled it now as well.
Yeah, it's been cancelled now.
Yeah, I mean, that stands to reason. A couple of guys actually replied here. Smallville. How dare you, T,
My
say
man!
Smallville? That is the best. He goes, but for real, I guess I'll go with The Flash. I haven't watched it in like a year. Some of the moments are bad, and it's just straight up funny for the wrong reasons. It's a good TV show to watch when you're high. I would guess. I don't know. Oh, you don't know, do you?
Oh, you don't know?
You don't know. Oh, we'll see how it goes.
Jack said, Riverdale, for the right reasons. My
heard
chick
Riverdale's
watched
good.
that. I've seen some of it. It's definitely not. It's definitely not. And then this one from Gams Master, which is an absolute troll.
Oh.
What if? That's pretty funny.
That's a terrible
And
show,
on that
yeah.
awful note,
Yes.
should we call it there?
We will call it there, guys and girls. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of the True Game Podcast. We are approaching on 100 soon. That should be pretty fun as
boy.
well. But remember, next week we're doing the predictions episode for Xbox and Bethesda Showcase and Summer Game Fest. Should be quite cool. We'll see how this all goes.
Yeah,
guys.
buddy.
Go over and check out our Ball Hunter video of Sniper Elite 4.
I forgot about that, yeah.
There. Sorry about the audio. We fucked up the audio for the first couple parts. This part and the second part I think will be bad, but after that it will go back to normal.
Yeah, we did about 3 or 4. Should be about 3 or 4 parts. So
3 or 4 parts, yeah. So it's just those first 2 parts should be. Sorry about that, but it is still funny if you compare.
It's still
to
good,
it.
yeah.
Thank you all for joining us, bro. Thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. One Punch Man. I regret saying that. I regret saying anime
Animes
things.
Club Season 2's confirmed.
Did you see the? I sent it to you actually. The apparently monkeypox is largely transmitted.
You sent this in the group chat with me and Tyler. Yeah.
Largely transmitted through intercourse, sexual intercourse, and I was like, oh, anime fans don't need to worry them.
Safe.
They're cool. They're completely immune.
The
to
weebs
this.
will inherit the earth. I mean, you're not wrong.
And Doctor Who fans. They're never
Although
gonna
it's
get
probably
it.
the furries that are going to get it, and they mix into the weeb category a lot.
No, they intersects a little bit, doesn't it? You're closer to a furry than I am.
Shut up. you bum an alien. Superman's a friggin' alien. That's basically bestiality, isn't it? Prove me wrong.
So just because he looks human, just the
Right,
jizz
cat
coming out
girls,
is thinking.
I think that counts as furry, and they're mostly human.
He's trying to make his own. Like, I'm trying to square my own circle. Hold on a second.
Shit.
Get me out. Eject.